these balls could talk, they would walk along the bases and into the fields. If these balls could talk with Mark.
Are we going live with the
Here we go.
We're on?
We're on.
He didn't
Hey,
have a finger
ballers.
to point at you, Mark.
He didn't have. I was looking for Pete's finger. Hey, ballers! Welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, where we talk about the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. We are back from a 3-week layoff, and we're still trying to remember if we know how to do this.
We're
Anyway.
so good at broadcasting.
I'm so impressed.
The start was a little rough.
As a reminder of the format, we come up with 4 topics without the other's knowledge, so it's just a conversation amongst friends. I would actually like to a shout out to YouTube user JWC3333 for reminding me that not everyone is probably familiar with the format of the show. So thank you to him, and we're going to continue on right now. But yeah, if you happen to like us or not like us, leave a comment. You might get a shout out on the show, guys.
Like and subscribe. Tickle that bell.
Tickle.
So this is Mark along with John and Pete and also Liam, if you see in there. And we'd like to welcome back to the podcast our longtime friend, Mr. Jefim Piekarz. Good evening, Jefim, and how are things with you?
Good evening, boys. They're good. And cheers. It's good to be back.
Cheers.
Salut.
Cheers.
I am unfortunately abstaining from alcohol. I do have a race coming up in a little bit more than a week.
That's better.
So you're not doing the Pete method of drink a ton of beer and party the night before?
No. If I was
normally at Mark's birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Boilermaker. Yeah, we'd go celebrate Mark's birthday and then run the Boilermaker the next morning.
If I was a genetic freak like you, Pete, then I could, but unfortunately I can't.
Pete, did they make you in a lab, buddy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know it was funny, right, Liam?
But the problem is it's coming back now because this kid's already trying to walk at like
That's
7
good.
months. Well, he was trying to go
Nice.
6
Almost
months.
Walk.
big.
It looks like
almost
he's
there.
trying to run.
Yeah, he's
man.
going to be 8 months this week.
And I was like,
Wow.
almost
It's
gay.
already like 28 and a half inches and 20 pounds. The kid is freaking huge. Okay.
Yeah, he is. He's
Yeah, I'm
big
gonna,
kid.
Huge.
I'm gonna make him disappear though. Say goodnight.
Huge capital district. So Mark's forgetting everything he asks. So we're gonna just go around the horn. Mark, how was your break?
What do you mean I forgot everything I asked?
You didn't ask it, and we're just like sitting
I
here,
said,
like
I asked
on our
Jefim.
fingers.
I asked Jefim how's he going.
Started with
How's it going?
Jefim. That's weird.
Oh, that's how I
We
always
do.
start.
We do definitely care about what's going on with you, Jefim.
We definitely care about Jefim, just not yet.
Mhm.
Anyway, my break was pretty good. So I did a little family vacation up in Maine. Stayed along the water. You guys
The
didn't
Rocky Coast.
the
Very
Rocky
nice.
Coast. I
Solid
happened
pictures.
to see someone I hadn't seen in 10 years up there.
Really?
It was
Taylor
it was so random. Maybe my version of Taylor Swift.
What?
This was a musician that I was friends with. I met her at Dueling Pianos long time ago. Hadn't seen her in a long time. There happened to be a Dueling Pianos up in Maine that my family's like, oh, this is a fun thing. Let's go there. And she happened to be performing there. It was totally random. And yeah, it was nice to see her because again, it had been about 10 years since I'd last seen her. So
That's
really
really cool.
random, but
Wow.
really nice. Yeah. What did you guys do during break? John, how about you?
Oh, well, me, my parents, my sister, her daughter, so Melanie, Marion, Marion's boyfriend, my Melanie, and my daughter, Jamie. And we went to Virginia Beach first time. And we didn't stay in Virginia Beach. We actually were really surprised. We went to Virginia Beach proper, and we were like, "Where's the boardwalk?" And I asked the lady at the restaurant that we stopped in. And I'm like, "Oh, there's no boardwalk." She's like, "It's kind of like a street." I'm like, "So it's just a street?"
It is not
Okay.
Atlantic City.
so I was like,
Huh.
oh, but we weren't staying in Virginia Beach. We were staying in Sandridge, which is actually beautiful. I was walking distance from the beach. I could see it from our balcony, and we had a nice big place. Had a lot of great food. We went to a place which is apparently a chain down there called Jose Tequila's, not a sponsor.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. If you guys all follow me on Facebook, and those margaritas were as big as they looked, and the food was great, all fresh tacos and like soft tacos and stuff. It was really, really good. And
Awesome.
back at work this week, the summer at the state is what it sounds like, barren. So it's funny when you work on a light day in an enterprise, like on a service desk, you're like, oh, I should not be busy, but then all your coworkers aren't working either. So actually, I was pretty busy, but it was a good week. I had a good time. I'm ready to be back. I missed you, boys.
Yeah, I missed doing the show.
Well, Pete, why don't you fill us in what you did during break?
Not too
did
much.
baby things.
Well, yeah, a
You
lot of baby
babied.
things. We had a little, some people over for the pool. Liam is now chilling in the pool, and he is it is a vibe when he's in the pool. He's on this float thing strapped in with his big dinosaur hat, his little baby sunglasses, and a pacifier, and he's just like, yeah. Occasionally kicking his feet.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. He likes it. Your pool was a good temperature when we went before we left.
It was nice. Yeah. It
was
got up to
nice.
like 85, 80, 84, 86 even.
Oh,
It
that's
was
too warm.
really hot.
really
and
nice.
for everybody who doesn't know, it was really hot in the Northeast this week.
Yeah.
Or this month,
sure.
I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say last few weeks, right?
Yeah. Stefan, how's Noah doing?
Noah's great, man. He's 19 months. He's walking. He's in daycare now. He did start daycare finally,
Okay.
and
How's
that's
his
been an
words?
adjustment. He's still only got a few words. He's not talking
okay.
much, but he is
That's
definitely
okay.
the boss of the house. So he makes it very clear what he wants. He'll point at something, and then you'll point at it, and he'll take your hand and he'll walk you to it, and then he'll put your hand on it. You're like, see, do
Amazing.
that for me.
What was the coolest thing for
I am
me
the
that
captain
Jefim is
now.
now experiencing, that Pete will experience in 2 years, is that they reach this phase where they understand 100% of language, but they can't speak it. Just like you when you're learning a language,
Yeah.
right? And so,
sure.
like, you say something to them and they know what you're saying and they walk you over to them. And Jamie had a lot of nonsense words, but they were the same nonsense word every time. So we became translators to her nonsense words.
You
which was
learned her language,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. But
No, John, building on what you're saying, that's probably the coolest thing. So we're a 2-language household. We have, Masha speaks Russian, and so does her family. And
does she speak
I
Russian to him?
he does. And what's
Awesome.
cool is we've realized he's at that age you just mentioned. He can actually understand us. Like when we ask him to do things, he knows, and he also understands it in both languages.
That's
It's
cool.
really wild.
That's
So that was
wild.
cool. Like watching Masha say something to him in Russian, and he'll be like, okay, and he'll go do it, and you're like, whoa, what just
Whoa.
happened? He
Yeah.
just totally understood that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just
brains
say
are
something in
incredible.
English. Same deal.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, their brains are made of rubber. You want
Yeah.
to teach them 2 language. Your 2-language household, you speak 2, they learn it.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
I think the only hard part about that is they say it delays language as a result because he is
Well, they're
learning two
learning 2
languages.
at once, yeah.
Yeah. So, but
That's okay.
it's still amazing to see him
Rock 'em up.
interpret and understand what we're asking
Yeah.
him and start to do those things. And he's pretty much being the boss of the house. He really is. He has strong opinions. That's what I would say. So we're at that toddler stage.
Yeah.
They don't stop.
So Jeff and I watching, this was when SNL was on this season. It was a couple months ago, and I never got to tell you this. We are both the butt of a joke that was on Weekend Update where they basically said something about, it was like Colin Jost, I believe.
He's a very punchable
Yeah,
face.
he's like, so the 2023 most popular baby names came up, and number 1, Liam, number 2, Noah. And I was like, oh no. I was like, well,
don't look at 2022, you guys. It's the same.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. But it's different in 24, I've heard so far.
No, we totally didn't know, and
We didn't
we
either.
named it after. We named it after. It's kind of like a family tradition thing. We named him after Masha's grandfather. who's
Oh,
passed away.
cool.
Um, But the idea there, that's kind of like a family pattern for them. But that said, like you're saying, we then after we named him that, we heard this. They're like, oh, that's like the most popular baby name, and we're like, oh,
But
okay,
like,
right.
who knew? The first time I ever knew anyone other than the biblical figure
America.
of the name Noah was
America
a
knew.
tap brother, a friend of ours, and my freshman year roommate, Noah. Because
Hey, no, if you
Shout
want to be
out
on
to
the
Noah
show,
Cody.
you totally can.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I haven't seen Noah in years. Let's catch up.
That's right. You reach out.
He's up in Mark's neck of the woods. He's in Boston. Actually, I think he's up in Dane's neck of the woods, he's north of Boston.
Yeah, he's a little closer to Dane than he is
More
me.
northern New England.
They hang out sometimes.
Very cool.
Anyway,
All right, and now it's time for our guest to take over the show in our segment, Ball in the Corner Pocket.
Okay.
Nice.
I had it ready that time.
Well, welcome back, boys. So we were chatting in our little group chat, me, John, and Mark, and we're kind of thinking about like, hey, what might we want to discuss? And Mark seeded this topic, so I will share that with everyone ahead of time. But with that in mind, I loved it, and I wanted to run with it. So right now, we're seeing unprecedented revenue and spending in the world of sports. From a projected $7 billion expansion team in Las Vegas to the average NFL franchise being worth almost $5 billion. The tickets being so expensive and unavailable for an Argentina versus Colombia football match that fans were crawling through vent ducts and causing chaos in an attempt to see their favorite teams and players.
We're not going to talk about that just yet.
Don't worry.
We'll elaborate
John.
on that later.
Don't worry. Sports is a business, and boys, business is good. With all of that in mind, let's talk about how you actually run a successful sports franchise. I want to get your opinion on this. How do you balance running a financially successful franchise with the goal of also winning championships? Can you do both? Or do you have to make trade-offs?
I mean, I looked this up to kind of, because I didn't really have a clue where I would go with this, and I looked this up. The most profitable franchise in sports by 2 is the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
At $1.2 billion.
I mean, the market's just absolutely humongous.
And when you think about it, the Cowboys haven't been successful since the 90s.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years since they won a Super Bowl.
Right. And I think, and when you think about it too, the Giants were on the list, and most of the teams in the top of the list, most of the most profitable teams haven't won a championship in a really long time. Sports is fun, and big markets are fun, and people don't care. I mean, people care, but people don't really care whether you win or lose. I mean, you'd like to think that that a team that makes a lot of money has good players, but when it comes down to it, it's all about the coaching staff, the front office, the GMs. Joe Shoheen is a shitty GM, right? He's a shitty GM. He has a ton of money to work with, and he keeps, like, he's walking around on Hard Knocks like he's like his shit don't stink, and he just keeps fucking making mistakes. And I'm just like,
well, he's a newbie GM. Unfortunately, you're the team that he's going to learn everything with. So when he goes to his next team, he's going to be really good.
Fuck that guy. He's like, episode 3, Hard Knocks with the Giants, right? Not to spoil too much, but you already know what happened. He's talking to John Mara, his boss, about how they're going to lose Saquon Barkley to the divisional rival, Philadelphia Eagles. And Mara is like, but aren't we going to counter? And Shoheen, the first 3 episodes of this season is talking about how 27 is too old. Saquon's on a downhill. We could get anybody to do that, which obviously we all know. We've seen the history of the last 5 years of the New York Giants is not true. But he's just stuck in analytics, right? He's stuck in analytics and the things that he's read. And I mean, I'm sure he's a smart man. Sure, he's very good at his job. But the idea that he can be better without Saquon Barkley is ridiculous. Anyway, I got distracted.
John, I love that you totally.
I got distracted.
Giants.
It's okay.
But I was shocked to see them on the list. That they're a very profitable team. But
I'm not.
Think about it,
I'm not.
To go to
No,
MetLife Stadium.
The market's humongous.
To go to MetLife Stadium, you have to spend $20,000 per season ticket before you even get the ticket or the parking. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Exactly. Ticket revenue, right?
It's an expensive PSL, aka pumpkin spice latte.
But jersey sales have something to do with that as well, obviously, because the Giants and the Cowboys are 2 franchises that travel really well because you have a lot of Cowboy fans pretty much all over the country. Same with Giants fans. So really, marketability is a key thing with profitability. So really, the better the fan base, then probably the more profitable it's going to be. Now, that's a long-term strategy. A lot of owners, I think, don't necessarily have that long-term strategy in mind. They're just like, we just want to make as high of a profit as we possibly can. How can we do that in the shortest amount of time? A really good way to do that is taking in some of that shared revenue from the league and spending as little money as possible. So your team kind of sucks, but from a financial perspective, you're making pretty good money.
Sure. But now
again, not a very good long-term
tightrope though.
How do you walk that tightrope? It's hard. Personally, I don't know if you can really be a successful franchise from a champion's perspective and from a financial perspective. It's very hard. If you look at the Celtics, what did the Celtics do very recently? They won a title. They did that with Tatum still on the last year of his. I'm sorry, the second to last year of his rookie deal, and Jaylen Brown on the last year of his rookie deal. Both of them have just signed long-term max deals, like $60-70 million contracts that go in. Now, Jaylen Brown's goes into effect this season. Tatum's, I think, doesn't go into effect until next season. I could be wrong about that timeline, but they've also signed Drew Holiday to like $120 million. Derek White, like over $100 million. They're going to pay.
There's a limit of money.
They're going to pay a buttload of luxury tax, and the NBA does have a salary cap. And so, what does the principal owner of the Celtics do? Puts him up for the sale because he doesn't want to pay that high luxury tax anymore.
I saw he put it up for sale. You win a championship, you re-sign your biggest players, you're like, fuck it, I'm out.
Exactly. But someone's going to pay it. Someone's going to pay it.
At the end of the day, it's a business, right? It's a business at the end. Like even Hal Steinbrenner goes, I don't want to pay all this luxury tax anymore. So, and then Judge recently this week, Aaron Judge is like, just to let you guys know, you better get some people.
Right.
Because we need help.
He can't do it myself. So
he said his statement was, I'm sure we will fill the holes that we have. I'm just saying, better.
That's what she said.
Right.
So,
hey.
So I'm hearing you guys say... God,
Pete had something.
Oh, yeah. I was going to approach it from more what could be financially good and winning, but both could fall flat on their face is owners, I think, sometimes have way too much direct influence on their team when they don't really know the sports side of it or the operations side of it, the day-to-day personnel teams. So I think, we were talking about John being upset about Joe Shane. It's about getting a really good general manager who's in charge of your roster, who's like in charge of those business operations or whatever, or somebody that can delegate that. But knowing when to let them go too. And the second you get a good one, stay the hell out of their way. Don't give these big contract extensions to people that are like, they're okay. Like, go stretch the limits of what are incentive-based payouts and bonuses and things like that to your staff. That'd be my approach. Because then you're not spending it all if they suck. But you're
might get into that a little bit for the next question.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day,
it is interesting though. You guys are basically, what I'm hearing you say is you really can't have both. You're either financially successful or you win championships.
I think
to have both.
It's insanely hard to have both. You have to have a lot going for you in order to do both.
I don't necessarily
There's some luck
know
involved, I think.
I mean, let's look at all the champions of the past year, right? I mean, they're all pretty big market teams.
I was going to say, though, who's the last NFL big market team to win a Super Bowl? Because Kansas City's big, but they're not the biggest.
They wouldn't be considered a big market.
They're middle of the road at best, right?
I mean, probably the Eagles.
That's what I was thinking, Philly.
The Philly's a big market.
They're big.
But they haven't. While they have a rabid fan base.
Boston won the NBA. You can't tell me Boston's not a big market.
They're a pretty big market.
Boston is a huge market.
Yeah.
Huge market, right?
It's tough to. I mean, we haven't had a lot of repeat champions aside from the Chiefs lately.
Yeah. Before that, Patriots, really, I think, right?
I tell you what, in arena sports, I think repeat champions are almost impossible. That's so hard.
Well, the Warriors did it.
Basketball, hockey,
but they had a revolutionary.
Those playoffs are a fucking
the lighting did it. The lighting did it. Yeah,
yeah.
It's not impossible, but it is tough.
And none of that lasts forever too.
So you guys don't. What I'm hearing you say is you don't subscribe to the Tampa Bay Rays model.
I mean,
pretty good every single year, right?
Not this season.
They don't win Oh yeah, not this season.
Not this season. I think
they don't win titles.
Kind of dried up.
Your question.
They don't win titles, and they don't.
Caliber.
They don't win titles, and they don't have people go to their games
because they can't, and so they don't make any money, so they can't keep players. Just
when they do manage to be pretty good and make their way into the playoff pretty consistently.
Not this season.
Correct.
Red Sox
again. People don't watch their games.
Right.
Anyway, we're way over time. We need to move on.
I liked this topic though. This is fun.
I mean, he's got two more.
There's more.
Oh, okay.
There is more.
All
Well, I was
themed,
letting it
baby.
go because you guys. I was letting it go because you guys actually did basically talk about number 2, which was going to be how does this differ between sports, which you guys did.
We're
But I
so
did
good
want
at
to ask this third element. So, given what you said, do you think these choices have any consequences to the fan base, negative or positive? These choices to either spend money or not spend money.
I mean, we'll see what haapens when Buffalo raises their PSL with their new stadium.
There's some piss out.
And I mean, PSLs are a really, actually very telling portion of this, right?
Yeah.
Like, the teams are trying to make money back for these astronomical payrolls. So they're like, well, what do we do? Let's charge the season ticket holders because those fuckers are crazy.
I mean, no question, too, there's got to be a lot of pressure from the league because they're like, hey, you're getting an equal, 1/32nd share of the revenue sharing, right? Just like every other team. Come on, pony up. Yeah, you're in a small market, but let's get a new stadium. Let's maximize this. So I'm sure that this wasn't a decision of the owners alone.
I'm sure it was. They like money.
I mean, they do. Yeah.
I mean, Terry Pagula didn't just become a billionaire.
Hold on. But Terry Pagula's quote at the press conference when he bought the team, he said, I just want to win a championship. I don't care how much it costs. If I need money, I'll buy another oil rig.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was his quote.
Can we just point of order? You can't be a billionaire and not be an asshole, right?
Well,
no way.
That's a different topic.
Yeah, I was going to
There's
say
just no
different
way.
topic. But I do
So-
want to call out: is there something there, guys? Because
I
for
think
example,
there
I know
is.
John Henry, right? Red Sox. Oh, I won't take it from you, Mark.
I wanted to talk essentially about the Red Sox for the last 25 years. So previously, the Red Sox were one of the biggest spenders in all of Major League Baseball. They won titles. And pretty much after the last championship, John Henry, the principal owner, decided that he didn't want to be that one of the top big spenders anymore. He didn't want to pay all that luxury tax. So all of these homegrown players that they had got signed elsewhere. And the Red Sox, ever since, has been a mediocre team.
Except for this year.
And this year, I think they're overperforming.
I got to tell you, that bet that we didn't make at the beginning of the season, we should have made. It's going to get real exciting.
We
right,
we ended up making it.
Did you?
We did.
Was it a Scotch bet?
during the break.
No,
we
we ended up making it. At the beginning of the season, we did a Mets, Red Sox, Yankees, who would end with the best record, and nobody wanted
that's
to
right.
because
That's
we're all
right.
going to be
That's
terrible.
right. Yeah,
but we're all
yeah,
actually
yeah.
kind of good.
Yeah.
But John and I during the break, we ended up making a Scotch bet about who would win in head to head. And
then it was a good thing because Mark
I gave him
offered
two.
me
I gave two
Mark
options,
offered me
yeah.
the series, which the Yankees did lose. So I think I picked wisely.
And they're losing. They're losing the season series right now.
Shut up. We're still in first. First.
So you don't think? Do you think there's any effect on the fan base?
I'm sure it does.
Well,
I mean, I haven't been to a Red Sox game. I used to go to like 2, 3, 4, 5 Red Sox games a season. I went to my first Red Sox game last season for the first time in 4 years, and I don't know if I'm going to go this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the end of the day, let's think about it. At the end of the day, you can price people out of major league professional sports.
As far as attendance is concerned, sure.
There is only so much a family, like, okay, so like I go to a baseball game, and let's say I just don't bring anybody else, but I still bring Mel and Jamie. I go to a baseball game, it costs me $300 to get in the door. And I sit in shitty seats. $100 seats are not good. So it'll cost me $300 to get in the door. And then it costs me, let's just say, another $200 to eat. That's a $500 day. And I got to
By the way, John, just rewind for a minute. How crazy is that what you just said, right? $100 seats are not that. You're right. They're not. But it's like, right? That's how crazy that statement
I
is.
started going to baseball, and it sucks because I like going with my family, but I started going to baseball by myself. Like with Jefim, we go and we each cover our own seat. And just like with Jefim and Mark, we go and all three of us cover our own seat. But it's easier for me because I can't bring everybody. It's expensive. So that's going to happen. And then on top of that, it sucks to lose. Like your team is bad. You don't want to go because it sucks to lose, right? So it almost has to be both, I guess.
I don't know. I think if they win, that fixes everything.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
so?
winning helps.
Yeah.
Winning helps.
Like
Good teams sell out and bad teams don't. Our friend Scott Hayscott said he once went back to, he lived in the Bay Area before he lives in New York. He lives in New York now. but he said, I went back home and I could get into the Oakland Coliseum for $5.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
guys, we should pour one out for the Oakland A's. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
To the A's.
True story.
Soon to be the Las Vegas
Yeah.
A's.
Soon to be
Yeah.
the Las Vegas A's.
Oh my
But that's what
God.
happens. Like, right? We're all old enough for Major League, but maybe all our listeners aren't. But there was a movie back in the 90s or the 80s called Major League, right?
Yeah,
And it was
the
about
80s.
a team.
Wild thing.
A team that was tanked on purpose so that it could be sold, so that the owner could make a lot of money. And that's a real story. That happens all the time. All the time.
All the
In
time.
real life.
Yeah.
And then the team
Okay.
started winning. And then Charlie Sheen threw fastballs.
Yes.
So you're
Actually,
saying so?
Funny story about Major League, because I'm in a distracting mood.
Here we
Wesley
go.
Snipes is actually very slow, right? And so
Heard
he was
this,
Willie
I've heard
Mays
this.
Hayes, right?
Yeah.
And anytime Willie Mays Hayes, who was supposed to be the fastest man in baseball, they ran him in slow motion because he was very slow, so they couldn't actually let him run.
What if they?
Yeah.
What if they just rolled the film at like 18 frames a second and then sped it up to 24?
It was the 90s, Pete.
That was
Yeah,
they've used that trick since the 30s.
But basically,
Maybe
you guys are saying
even slow
then-
motion Wesley Snipes looks slow. I don't know.
It's
So,
fast
are-
motion.
do you think
fast
there
motion.
is ultimately any effect on the fan base of a team basically saying, like, for example, Mark, are the Red Sox still selling out every year? Is that
No.
still happening?
So that was the
Ooh.
thing for like how long was it? Was that that sellout streak at Fenway Park?
Yeah.
It was a long time, but they don't talk about sellouts every single game at Fenway anymore, and Fenway is not the biggest stadium to sell out either. So now you're still getting a good amount of people in there. Like they're
Mark,
still
what's
like,
the worst seat you've ever had at Fenway? Have you ever sat in the
oh,
partial
I
obstruction?
have sat in the very last row of center field where you're like underneath the scoreboard and your back is against the wall of the
There's
like
some
the
bad
brick
seats.
wall.
Oh,
So,
man.
Pete, there is a seat that they sell at Fenway Park. It's called partial obstruction. Okay. So you sit down at Fenway
Partial.
Park, and there's these seats that don't face the field.
What the?
So you sit and you don't face the field, and there's a shit in front of you. There's like a pole, and you're just like, I can't see, but you're there.
And that ticket is $5,000.
$5,000.
You hear the crowd raise, "Hey, what's happening, guys? What's happening?"
I mean, they have TV set up in there, so you can at least.
So you
Jeff,
go
did you
all the
skip
way
the
there.
third
You pay
question
all
'cause
this
we're at
money
time again?
to sit in front of a pole and look
No,
at
no,
this
that-
probably
that
like
was the
dinky
third
TV
question.
that they put up there in 1997.
It's not a dinky TV. No, it's a really nice flat screen.
Yeah.
up
I
there.
gotta. I'm Yankee fan here. I've been to Fenway Park. It's very nice. The thing that we talk about a lot is that when you love baseball, you just love baseball. The smells, the sounds.
Yep.
When you walk into Fenway Park, same thing when you walk into Wrigley. You're like, this is a baseball park. You can feel it,
Yeah.
right? You just feel it. Because
Has a lot of
it's
character.
like almost a little league park. I mean, it's not, it's big. But like you just feel baseball in Fenway. And it's cool. It's really cool.
You know, my favorite fun fact about your family is, John, that technically Jamie's first baseball game was at
Sharkface.
Fenway Park.
Oh, yeah.
And
She may not have been
Jefim-
able to see
Jefim
it.
and
but-
Mark were there.
That's right.
Wait, was that the one
That's
where,
right.
when we were
I
on the
forgot
roof?
that. Yeah.
No, this wasn't
No,
the one
that was
we were
a
on the
different
roof.
one.
Melanie
No.
was pregnant.
Melanie was pregnant.
Okay, this is
we went
before
the
that.
summer of 2012, and we went with
Right.
Jefim and Mark and some other people.
Wow.
Oh man. I forgot.
I
Everybody
have-
knew Melanie was pregnant, but yes, it
Yeah.
was her first game.
I have a great
So
picture
cool.
of Melanie somewhere
Counts.
where she's holding like a couple beers while she's pregnant.
Really
Oh, no.
pregnant. Really
Really
pregnant.
pregnant. Yes, it's
Yeah.
funny.
That was funny.
Love
Yeah.
it. Anyway, shall we move on?
Let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do it, boys.
Oh, are we just gonna kind of skip the second one because we already talked about it a little bit?
He said he did it.
Okay.
I believe him. He's a smart
That's
man.
Oh no. I told you what the second one was, you guys, but you guys truly did essentially do it by talking about different sports.
We
That was
covered
gonna
it.
be the-
We can move on.
the third-
Yeah.
We're at 30 minutes right now.
Oh,
So we-
jeez. Yeah, we covered it in the
I mean,
first. in the first
the average
thing.
Jeffem episode, I think, is 2 hours. So
Well, we can
Don't worry,
talk
I have,
that this time,
I have a
boys.
Marvel
We can-
question, so Jeffem and I are going to go nuts.
Oh,
that's
yes.
a 10-minute
Yes, he
topic
does.
at least.
Oh,
All right,
sweet.
we'd like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, Velocity Vision Sports Glasses. See the game in a whole new light with Velocity Vision Sports Glasses. Our polarized lenses enhance clarity and reduce glare. Velocity Vision, focus on victory.
I love
All right.
Jeffim's face when you
Love the
started that.
tagline.
He was like, "Wait, do we have sponsors
What?
now? We don't. We don't. It's
I
fake."
was like,
They're-
no, but then
They're,
I-
they're,
Hey, but you
they're
know what?
fillers in hopes that we get sponsors.
I was gonna say, if we actually get
I-
one, Mark
I
is
figured
ready
that's
for
what
that
he was
shit.
doing.
Mark has the voice. He's always
Yeah.
had. The
I was
voice,
going to say,
he
Mark,
does.
that was pretty good, man.
I have a
He's
pretty good
getting pretty-
Radiohead voice,
He's
right?
getting pretty polished at the
was good.
I got a
sponsoring.
pretty Radiohead voice. I try different inflections sometimes, and it's like that doesn't sound right, so I just stick to good old reliable. Anyway, are we ready to kick off the shindig?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We got a first topic. I can go for my list.
I
it,
have one,
Mark.
but I'll save it.
First topic,
Oh, actually,
Rockapella.
we were talking about the smells and the sounds of baseball. Popcorn, hot dogs, hot nuts. Next topic. First topic. You can edit that, right?
That was amazing.
I'm gonna leave it because it's great.
Hot nuts.
I'm gonna give you these hot
I
dogs.
had to add the hot nuts.
Want some hot nuts? Anyway, all right. So that was a bad segue to what we're about to talk about. By the way,
We're gonna
Speaking of hot nuts,
so a lot of important things happened while we were away.
one really important thing.
Really, what
Yeah,
happened?
so- even though these are supposed to be the dog days of summer, quite possibly the biggest story happened last week at a rally in Pennsylvania for Donald J. Trump.
Ugh.
So here's what we know. Now, the failed assassin is named Thomas Matthew Crooks. And why do they always have three names?
Because they're assassins.
He's 20
Always
years
have three
old.
names.
And he appeared to have shimmied up onto a rooftop about 500 yards away from where Trump was standing, while multiple bystanders would actually saw him do that and reportedly did tell local police, but unfortunately nothing was done.
Yeah.
Now, he fired 3 shots that ultimately killed 1 person, injured 3 that also included Mr. Trump himself on the ear. Now, while we could and may even talk about the logistics of what happened or the many conspiracies about who really devised this plan, we're going to keep it to the big picture for now. So, everyone, what should we as a country learn after the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, and how will it affect this upcoming election, if at all?
I think that I saw a reel from I think he was like a mid-south, like Virginia senator, and he said it was really very thoughtful. The political violence has no place in America, and it doesn't. And on top of that, it only causes problems, so it almost unifies. Now, the problem with this specific political violence is that the way it happened is very odd, right?
Mhm.
This kid who was in a BlackRock commercial 2 years ago,
was he really?
which
There's so much
which is
weird
really
stuff
odd.
coming out about this guy.
And the thing that is, seriously, there's no such thing as a coincidence in the world, right? So that's related. And I heard, and I don't know if this is true, but he was so bad at shooting, he got kicked off his high school shooting team.
I heard that too.
Which might be not real, but the BlackRock thing is real. I saw the commercial. There was a professional Secret Service sniper right over Donald Trump's shoulder, right there. And you don't just become that, right? That guy is probably an Army Ranger. Like, he's probably decorated. The fact that he missed him on a roof he could see, which was not that hard of a shot, is really it just really doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's what gets
He,
me.
he
is
did,
that
John, he
it's-
didn't miss. He didn't miss. That's not what happened.
No, I didn't say he
actually-
missed
he
it.
saw
No.
the guy.
He didn't
No, no,
see
no,
him. I think that's what
shoot
John
him.
meant. He didn't see him.
No,
No,
he
but
killed
he
him in
did-
3 seconds. He knew exactly
Yeah.
where he was.
No, he did see him. He saw him. He reported in. He said, "Hey, there's someone on the rooftop.
Mm.
Do I have permission to fire?" And he did not get it. They thought it could just be somebody with a telescope. You can't fire. And he requested permission to fire multiple times. And it wasn't until the kid actually fired that they realized the guy was right, and then they let him fire.
Damn.
So, yeah,
It's just wild.
pretty,
the story is so
it's pretty
wild.
crazy. It's
But,
really
like,
crazy.
That seems to me like Secret Service needs to up their game here. I mean, this is whatever you say about Donald Trump in your political spectrum, like this is a former president. You know,
So
those people
I
need to be protected.
And I've heard multiple reports about the staffing of the Secret Service for this event. There was one report I saw where they were asked for additional people there and they were denied. But I've also heard that there was an increased presence of Secret Service because of a potential Iranian plot to kill him. So I don't necessarily know what is right. There's some people are saying it took way too long for them to get Donald Trump off the stage. It definitely seems like just a lot kind of went wrong. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. Thankfully it wasn't. But especially after you hear what was in the kid's car, some explosive devices, and he had a detonator.
I mean, at the end of the day,
allegedly
we're never gonna know. We're never gonna know what happened. And we could theorize all we want, and it's fun to talk about. But at the end of the day, we have to talk about the facts, and the facts are, Donald Trump is probably going to win the election. I don't know if it's related to the fact that Joe Biden is, because he is, or the fact
has a lot to do with it,
or the fact that he refuses to step down because he does. Or
I knew you were going to bring this up. And how long have we been saying this? And now all of these Democrats are coming out and saying it. It's like, what the fuck were you guys thinking? It's like, didn't you think this was going to happen?
He's 100 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Read the room.
And on top of that, we have this militarized base of fucking crazies that love Donald Trump. And he has this great picture, and he looks like a fucking hero. And we can say, we want maybe it's staged and maybe it's not, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it happened and he does. Yeah. And so if there was a doubt in anyone's mind that he was not going to win, he's going to win.
There was somebody.
He's gonna get sympathy vote now.
There was somebody at the Republican National Convention who was wearing, for fashion, and said that everybody is going to be doing it, wearing the same bandage thing on his ear that Trump was wearing. Like,
some people are just delusional.
You really sure you want a fascist dictator? No, at least in my
but people don't remember that about him right now. Right now, they just remember he got hit in the ear.
But
to bring it back,
recency bias.
There's literally a plan out there that exactly states all that stuff. Like, it's not like I'm even saying anything that's opinionated conjecture.
You mean Project 202025?
Yes.
You heard about that, Pete? Yeah.
Something. Well,
he just appeals to lowest common denominator, right? He appeals to these people who are on state assistance or federal assistance, and like, it's funny because when you think about it, the first thing he's going to do is get rid of your federal assistance, and it's just these people are out for their own demise, and it sucks because nobody is aware enough to know.
Yeah.
They're just not.
I'm thinking about what you asked, Mark, about like what did we learn. Weird, like even thinking about my own reaction, it's funny. Like I've heard a lot of accounts of this now, and the one that's sticking out in my mind is how quick we all were to try and like figure out, wait, is this guy in my team or the other team?
Yes.
Republican or Democrat?
There was a lot of people looking at that.
Ready everyone wanted to be to jump on the other side, and it's like I think we all know how polarized things are, but it's sad that even this moment where it's like, hey, like this was not acceptable.
There's a couple things wrong with that, right?
Life and death.
There's a couple things wrong. Like, first of all, having like two different sides, like you're either on my side or it's like fucking Star Wars all of a sudden. But the fact that people are like researching, it's like, oh, okay, we have to see that this guy is not on our side.
Yeah, like that's how it just felt sad. I guess like that's what I learned. It felt so sad that even this was like, wow, we're even willing to like go this far over a matter like this. And to be clear, I heard like crazy shit on both sides. Right? I heard like the right and the left. So I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I don't know. And I had crazy thoughts. Right? I'm not trying to exclude myself. I'm not above all of it. It's just weird how quickly we were to go down that path.
Yeah.
And
well, you take this very real thing, right? This is a very real thing, and we forget that a father lost his life protecting his family in this situation.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
There are people that did die in this.
I mean, the one guy, the 50-year-old firefighter, right, using his body to shield his daughter, which is the saddest fucking thing I could think of, right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
So whatever the reasoning behind this poor kid, whatever conspiracies that we can think of, it doesn't fucking matter, really, at the end of the day. It's real, and it happened, and it has consequences.
I want to rephrase my question. So I said, what should we learn as a country, not what will we learn as a country?
Those could be very different things.
Well, we were not going to learn anything because we don't learn anything anymore.
Jefim kind of hit that. We
Yeah.
didn't. I don't
Yeah.
think this country will learn anything.
No.
I don't. Yeah, it just was like if we don't learn in this moment, I don't know, man. But man, there's so many things you could say about the whole situation. It was like, I mean, if you want to go down the gun route, it was an AR-15 again,
Mhm.
right? Fucking Bradyville and all that. If I'm not saying that was the answer. I'm just saying, like, if you want to go that route, you could. If you look at the kid's political record, he was all over the place, right?
All over the place.
Super random.
Democrats, like, so it's like, what the hell? Like, who?
Yeah.
So it was just like, it was just a crazy person who was supercharged in a hot moment, and I
Unfortunately,
think we
probably had some mental health issues that were never addressed, and
Always.
our system failed him, unfortunately, too. If you think about it that way.
Yeah. And I don't know. To your point, Mark, I don't think we learned anything. I guess that's what I would say. Like, I think I watched the Republican National Convention. Day one, there was kind of a half-assed effort to say unity, but by day two, it was right back to the Democrats are the fucking devil, and
Right.
Biden is the devil, and you're just like, wow, right back to the unity message, huh, guys? And
Well,
like,
to be fair, the Republicans have always said we need to be united, but we need all Republicans need to be united.
Oh, yeah.
That's what their message has
They're
been.
good at doing that.
yeah.
We as Republicans need to be united, not we as a country. We as Republicans.
Yeah.
Well, and it's another case of another election year where the Republicans are united and the DNC can't get off their ass. They just can't.
Yeah.
They can't figure it out.
No, they're propping
Yeah,
up like pretty much Weekend at Bernie's presidential candidate at this point.
Bernie's.
Not the
Right.
not
We
Not
should
even the
end
good
on Weekend
Bernie.
at Bernie's.
I-
That
I-
was so good.
the wrong
I
Bernie.
think I would. I think I would vote for a Weekend at Bernie's Biden versus a real Biden at this point. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but even like, I'm not I realize I'm coming off as both sides. Yeah, I'm trying not to do that. But then, I mean, the same thing happened with MSNBC. They had to take Mika and Joe off the air because they were afraid of what stupid shit they would say, right? Like, you're just like,
Well,
this is what
yeah,
we're dealing with,
both
you know?
sides have been doing it, right? Clickbait. That's they've
Oh,
been. They
yeah.
want people to listen. They say the most horrendous
Yeah.
things. It's both sides.
Yep. The
Yeah.
most depressing thing was seeing Jon Stewart just like rip both of them apart.
Yeah.
The
Well,
other
that's
day.
what makes John.
Just-
That's
he
what
had
make
a-
John. That's what makes Jon Stewart work. Jon Stewart doesn't give a shit who you are. If you're an idiot, he's
Yeah.
going to tell you you're an idiot.
Yeah,
He had Bill O'Reilly on the show recently,
Did he
which
really?
I thought. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty good friends. They said publicly, like, we may never agree politically, but we can still
interesting.
talk.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like
I-
we need to reach to more of that. If there's anything we've learned here.
I mean, I have thoughts on that too, because I listened to the podcast and I saw the episode. I know you guys talk about, but yeah, God, I wish we had learned de-escalation a little bit with this whole situation. That's what I wish we had learned. Like, maybe we need to all calm the F down a little bit, because this is what it came to, right? Like,
Thoughts and prayers, man. Thoughts and prayers.
and
Fuck.
and it's just sad to see that doesn't seem to be the message.
Yeah.
Clearly, I hope it changes. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn it,
Americans
Mark,
want
you had to go with this first.
Americans want to win too much. They just love to win. We
I
love
guess.
to win, and we
Americans do love to win.
And
But is anyone winning right now?
no, I
we're
mean
all
no one's
losing.
winning. But here's the thing, right? We've taken this thing that should be very serious, and we put sides, and we've made them teams, and people fight for their teams, and it just sucks. The American political system sucks. We're so bad at it right now, and the rest of the world knows it.
What is it like the?
All right.
Okay, yeah.
And we're at time.
Yeah,
like 5 or 10 minutes.
we've gone into the next topic.
Damn it, Mark. Damn it, Mark.
Damn it, Mark!
Sorry.
No, but we had to talk about it. It's the biggest.
Are we fired up
Literally-
now?
All right.
We're
It's-
fired up.
Let's go.
It's literally the biggest fucking news of maybe the year.
Hey, we got through it.
Right?
We're okay. We survived.
We survived.
All right.
Give me next topic, yo.
It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you, but when it's next topic, I feel it too.
I like
So
that.
we're gonna go a little light. So barely a year ago, the
And now for something completely different.
the mustachioed phenom Paul Skeens was winning a
Yes.
national championship with the LSU Tigers. The Pirates made him the #1 pick in the MLB draft, and on Tuesday he was the starting pitcher for the National League. And He aced probably the best starting four that the American League could pick up. With,
That is a true fact.
Juan, Gunnar Henderson, Juan Soto, who Juan Soto said he was gonna make sure that Aaron Judge could hit, and Aaron Judge. 1 walk, 3 outs, no runs. Paul Skeens the man. Skeens is the first player to be the top overall pick and to be named to the All-Star Game, and just the 5th rookie to start, the last one being Hideo Nomo, like 2 decades ago. So, with the real-life eastbound and down, Paul Skeens continue to dominate. Is his impressive size, 6'6", 235, how he gets such an incredible amount of movement, and will the Pirates be able to eke out a wild card slot over a very good NL East?
NL Central.
No, but the NL East.
Oh, you mean? I'm sorry, because
the Braves and the Mets are number 1.
You're talking about wild
Yeah.
card. I mean, the answer is unfortunately no. The Pirates, while they're a decent team and they have a lot of young talent, they've recently kind of gone a little bit on a slide, and they're probably going to be on the outs when it comes to the end of the season. But they have a great team going possibly a great future to build on in the next couple years.
I was going to say, this guy's a rookie.
It's more than Skeens, because I mean, unfortunately, I don't know who the rest of the team is, but I do know they have a lot of I do know they have a lot of quality players. They had another all-star on the offense. Again, I'm blanking on his name right now, but the Pirates are going to be a team to reckon with, I think, in the next couple of years. Same with the Reds. Reds have been scouting very well and are building a pretty good team. So I love that small market teams are in the discussion for competing. I would love to see the Pirates win a World Series one day. I mean, Three Rivers or whatever it's called now is one of the most beautiful stadiums I've heard of. So it's we definitely have to visit.
And we're just gonna. And I know
Wasn't
that
that the football stadium
you and
name?
Mark. I know that you and Mark know, but maybe the listeners, and definitely not Pete. Paul Skeens is 6-0 with a 1.9 ERA. Paul Skeens is having probably the best pitching season ever.
Yeah, he's on track to win Rookie of the Year.
Well,
For sure.
yeah.
He
I
will.
know enough to know that that's incredible.
Well, 1.9
So,
is ridiculous.
yeah.
And he has a lot of innings. He has 89 strikeouts. Pete, do yourself a favor and watch the movement on his pitches. He will literally
he can
throw a
throw
ball.
102, 103 miles an hour.
Woo.
Right. And he'll throw a ball that will look like it's a mile away and it'll hit a strike zone.
See, this
It's
is why-
ridiculous.
This is why the long arms, people underestimate them.
Really,
Yeah.
really,
And so
good
this
with,
kid-
really good with pitching.
This kid is 22 years old.
Angular momentum.
He literally aced
Mhm.
like the best batters in baseball. And they interview him after. He's like, it's just baseball.
Huh.
Fuck, he's so cool.
We
Damn.
go baseball.
Yeah, no,
So-
he's cool. He's he's a big boy. He also
Yeah.
has that low 3/4 delivery,
Mhm.
which is almost Pedro Martinez like. If you ever look down and
Yes.
and that makes a difference on movement. If you ever watch anything like that, you pick up a lot of movement. And he's got that sweeper that everybody loves to talk about now. That sweeper pitch. It's basically a slider that you hold slightly differently. It creates absolutely crazy movement. So he's amazing to watch. And like you guys said, he throws 100 miles an hour. And this kid he's electric. I am a little concerned about his mechanics. He does look like he's using a lot of the velocity hack that a lot of the guys are using now that just blow out their arms.
I was going to say that can't be sustainable.
Well, that's a
then if
big
they're-
story in baseball right now, too. I just watched a couple of reels on it where there's these people teaching these kids to throw with their whole entire bodies. And then you're like, you can throw hard, and then you don't play baseball after 25.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you feel like using your whole body would help with that? Because like your power centers and
No.
your hip rotation, really? No.
I mean, it's maximum effort.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess if you're
Yeah.
giving it 100% every throw.
I mean, you think about what it takes to be an MLB pitcher, right? You're throwing 3 hours, right? You're throwing 100 pitches every 3 days. I mean, that's a ton.
That's a
That's a
lot,
ton
yeah.
of wear and tear.
The philosophy's changed so much on pitching, though, even from when we were watching guys in the 90s, right? Like I was listening to actually even Justin Verlander was talking about this because he was kind of the last, like him and Scherzer were probably the last of those guys that were taught that old school way, like from Jim Leland in the late 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about how he was taught, like, you don't go out there and throw 100. Yeah, you can do it, but you don't do it every pitch. You save some, you take some off, you ramp it up when you need to. The guys now these days are just taught to basically go out there and throw as hard as you can for as long as you can. And that's why they only last 5 or 6 innings.
Right.
And it's why I really believe it's why they're blowing their arms out all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna, yeah.
It's-
And I'm not even sure that that's. I mean, okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like that doesn't seem like it's a smart way to play, even if you're just trying to win. Because okay, sure, 100 miles an hour is incredible, and it's really hard to hit. But it's like if the batter's expecting that every time.
Well, you're kind of right about that, Pete. Like, so the 100-mile-an-hour fastball used to be rare. It used to be a rarity in Major League Baseball, and so people would have a hard time catching up to it. Now you see batters that are pulling 100-mile-an-hour pitches because they're used to it now.
This is like when you use antibiotics and then the bacteria become resistant to it.
And a lot of respect, yeah.
It's always been a wrestling match between pitchers and hitters. Sure. Even when everybody was juicing, it was like, well, the batters are juicing, so the pitchers have to juice. Well, the pitchers are juicing, so the batters have to juice.
But like, doesn't it make sense? So, you're holding back just enough.
Pitching was much worse then, John. It was. I mean, the ERAs were much higher at that point. Like that was why when Pedro put up that 1.9 in 1990 or 2000, it was so crazy because, I mean, I think the league ERA that year was what. 4.8 or something.
It was high. It was high. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas now, if you look at the league ERA, I think it might even be sub 3 at this point. Like it's crazy how much better.
That sounds a little too low.
Has it gone back up? All right. I just remember a couple of years ago it was really bad, and baseball was considering making all those changes because pitchers were so much better than the batters. But I'm with you guys. I agree. It looks like the batters.
There are now
14. The batters are going to catch up. They'll learn.
There are 14 MLB pitchers currently with an ERA under 3.
Yeah, which is insane.
I heard a stat. Is that starters and relievers?
Ronaldo Lopez on the Braves at 189. Jesus Christ.
There's got to be a minimum pitch count though for that to be viable.
John, is that starters and relievers, or is it?
I think it's starters and relievers.
Okay. I heard this stat the other day. That the average fastball like 30 years ago was like 88 or 89 miles an hour, and now it's like 94.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the fastest fastball of those pitchers was lower. Like you guys said, they might have been holding it out to like they're pitching 88 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden in inning 7 or 8, because guess what? They didn't gas themselves out and they can still pitch. All of a sudden, boom, there's like a 97 mile an hour.
Well, at the end of the day,
holy shit.
It actually doesn't matter because there are still a ton of pitchers, and you talk about like Greg Maddux, who 90, who was one of the best pitchers ever. I mean, it's still a dance. You still have to move the ball around. You still have to change movement on the ball and change angles on the ball.
Unpredictability in the strategy with it, right?
I agree, John, but I think it's additive, right? Because I'm with you. That's why you have to have off-speed pitches, right, to survive in baseball. You have to, especially as a starter now. There's no pitcher in baseball that is a good starter that does not have at least one breaking pitch. Yeah. The problem is if you're throwing 100 miles an hour and you've got that kind of arm speed, and then you throw a slider, right, as hard as you can, it'll come in at 90 miles an hour. I mean, there's 92, 93 mile an hour sliders.
It's so gross.
It's insane.
That's so gross.
And then we wonder why these guys are getting hurt. So I know I took this totally off Paul Scheme, but that's my only concern.
I think it's great. Yeah. This is a great topic, and we're out of time.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And again, we have been for a while.
Damn, that's so fast.
Sing me a song, Mark.
Upside, inside out, waiting for the next topic. It'll push and pull you down, waiting for the next topic.
Fucking missed you guys.
So, keeping on with baseball.
I made a mistake, by the way, and I brought this whole thing up. It was a bad idea.
That's not a mistake. That's a bonus.
It looks like a baby bottle, though.
But it's a lot. It's
like, so cute.
It's so many fingers. That's what she said.
Is that a green label?
No, it's black.
Black, okay.
All right, so keeping it on the baseball theme, the All-Star break just happened, which included some pretty star-studded moments. Like we said, Paul Skeens versus Aaron Judge. Also, Shohei Ohtani hitting a massive 3-run homer. But then Red Sox player Jared Duran ultimately hitting the game-winning 2-run blast to give the AL the victory for the 10th time in the last 11 games.
Only because Juan Soto started the whole momentum against the National League, I think. I don't know, man.
There are also the new home run derby rules where players are given 3 minutes or 40 pitches, and the top 4 hitters advance to the semifinals, which then ultimately they go into bracket style like they do in years past. Now, last year, the format was players receive just an unlimited amount of pitches for 3 minutes, and the entire format was bracket style. And even before that, it was bracket style, but the batters just got 10 outs, which
Say
also meant
bracket
that they
style again.
took bracket style. But
Whoa.
also it meant
Okay.
that the batters would take a lot of pitches. And with the new format of kind of unlimited pitches for 3 minutes, they just pretty much swing at everything now. So everyone, do we like the changes that were made to the Home Run Derby, and what other changes should be made to the sports All-Star Game /breaks?
Skill competitions are silly. And All-Star games
People
are
love
silly.
watching them. People love watching them.
I think it's a
All-Star games are
matter of
silly.
when you have them and how you package them, right? Like on TV, how like hype going into it.
And like you take the Home Run Derby as a thing, right? And the Home Run Derby has notably ruined swings for many power hitters over the
It
last
has.
15 years, right? Because they're trying to hit the ball out, and then they totally fuck their timing. And Aaron Judge said, I was like, I'm not participating this year, you guys. I'm not doing it.
One
I know you want
event
me to, but
can-
I'm not going to do it.
But one event can
Yeah.
throw off your mechanics that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's such a timing sport. It's so funny when you
Yeah.
think about it. That it's so ingrained that if you completely change the way you're hitting, it's hard to get back.
I don't know. It's hard though. We say
And I mean,
this.
the
I will say
NFL skill competitions this year were a fucking
they're-
travesty.
they're-
There's a
they're-
travesty.
they're-
That
yeah,
whole thing
I was
a
literally thinking about the
travesty.
Pro Bowl and everything. And I don't think that's
I have some thoughts on that.
But I don't know. Like the All-Star Game, out of all the things, I don't know. I still like the Home Run Derby. I do. I still think about like some of the iconic moments back in the day, and like just most recently, I don't know why this stuck out when you said it. The Josh Hamilton and his old pitching coach or whatever throwing his like 65-year-old pitching coach as he's trying to break the record. Like that was such a
Remember
a moment.
Remember tiny little Tino Martinez when he won the Home Run Derby? Like 15 years
Yes,
ago?
yeah, exactly.
It's
right?
amazing.
So I don't know. I still have a special place in my heart for that. That said, I actually think it's better the way they went back to the old rules, because I thought that you just keep swinging thing was so stupid over 3 minutes. Now at least you have to try and be efficient, right? You have to actually be like, can I hit this pitch out? Okay, I'm going to swing at this one. Like, I personally think that was better. Like, I'm glad they made that switch back.
And so I'm
I know they
going to
did that
take
just this
a
year,
small hot
so.
take on this. I think that the best game in all professional sports in the All-Star Game is the MLB All-Star Game, and it's because it has meaning.
It's a real game, too.
Well, it's a real game.
Yeah.
Everybody really actually plays, and the winner gets a thing, right?
I was gonna say you need
The
stakes
winner
for
of the
your
All-Star. No,
later
so Pete, the winner
season.
of the All-Star Game in baseball gets home field advantage for their league.
That's huge.
Huge. It's a
Pete
huge
Rose,
thing.
remember, had an iconic moment in All-Star Game where he took
Yeah.
out the catcher.
Now I got to tell
Oh,
you,
wow.
those uniforms on Tuesday were a travesty.
They were terrible. They were the uniforms in general. All the uniforms have been terrible this year. You know,
And you know what they reminded
does this
me
go
of?
back to the topic we talked about with the terrible Nike
Yeah, we've
uniforms?
talked about this a while ago.
No,
yeah,
you know what it goes back to? It goes back to the glow-in-the-dark baseball I talked about a couple of
It
weeks
looked
ago.
like it was Cosmic Baseball
It was
uniforms.
Cosmic Baseball.
Cosmic baseball.
which I still want to go. Which I still want to go to, by the way, and the Savannah Bananas game.
That does
That's
sound fun.
awesome.
Savannah Bananas would be awesome.
We should go.
I don't know. I still have to admit though, this year in particular, I had an aversion to the All-Star Game because even on the Mets, Pistol Pete there, Polar Pete,
Alonso, yeah.
Pete Alonso got selected, and he basically knocked his two teammates out. Like, frankly speaking, Francisco Lindor and Brandon Nimmo are better players than him this year by far, and one of them at least should have been in the All-Star Game. And because he basically said, well, if you don't select me for the All-Star Game, I'm not going to participate in the Home Run Derby. But basically, the committee said, "Oh, okay, let's select Pete Alonso instead." Like, so I have to admit, I had a little that whole popularity contest thing bugged me a bit, and
The
I don't
voting
know.
portion for the
That's kind of a
for the
bummer.
start for the starting roster.
yeah, there's definitely something there that bugged
Pete,
me.
the team's marketing camp, like their marketing departments, always play up their best players, and they're always like, "Vote for Aaron Judge for the All-Star Game" on like their Instagram and shit. And it happens
Well,
every year.
baseball has a funky rule that no other sport has, that there has to be a representative from every single team at the
This is
All-Star
what I was
Game.
talking about. Yeah,
That
this
is true.
Okay.
So even the lowly Chicago White Sox, although they have some pretty good pitchers, needed to
He's
get.
gonna be a Yankee soon, you guys.
Yeah.
So
No,
is it
John,
just like a minimum of
we
one
can talk about it
from
later.
each
The Mets
team?
are going to get him. We
Yeah, we're
got him.
totally
dude.
gonna-
It's in the bag, dude.
He's coming to the Mets.
I'm reading the same thing you are. The Mets are going to too.
So are we. We got more money than you. No, we don't.
No, you don't.
No,
We have
that's a
Uncle
lie.
Steve, buddy. No, good
That's
luck.
a lie. Oh, so Pete, this guy on the White Sox who suck. He has the most strikeouts in baseball, and everybody just like football.
Okay.
At this time of year, they're buyers and sellers, and
Yep.
the Chicago White Sox are sellers, and they can get a whole ton of shit from this kid. He's pretty young. The only problem with this kid is that this is his first full actual season. He was hurt last season, but
Yeah.
he's leading the league in strikeouts by a
Well,
lot.
that
He's
seems
not-
like a very
he's
high
not-
commodity for a
he's really-
playoff-bound team.
Yeah, he's,
For sure.
he's
But I don't know. It's
that's amazing.
I do-
that there's a fight.
just to
between the
take it
Yankees
back
and
to your
the Mets.
general question. No, All-Star games are kind of silly. I don't know. In general, if I really just pause,
Especially the basketball one. The basketball one
Yeah.
now, all they're just doing is just either 3-point contest
Side
or
note,
slam dunk contest.
WNBA All-Star Game tonight, tomorrow,
Saturday.
Saturday.
But see, now that you're saying that about NBA, I remember when little Nate was going in the dunk.
Nate
contest.
Robinson.
Remember that? Yeah, remember that? That was so
Dunk contest
awesome.
is kind of fun, and then they're having a lot of fun with the intergender stuff. They're having a lot of fun with
Yeah.
that, and like Ionescu almost beat Curry, and I think Griner's in the skills competition this year.
There you go.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess on their surface they're kind of silly, but as I'm saying, I'm realizing there's aspects of them I like. So I guess I don't know. They're fine.
I think what we're saying. I think what we're
Hot
saying is
take,
we
they're
like
fine.
the skills competitions. We don't like the actual games.
Yeah, actually,
I mean,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're
That's
Except
have-
baseball.
how I
Baseball has
lean
the
into
best game.
Have
Right.
like a mini Olympics with like
Didn't
skills
they
competitions.
fucking do
or
like a
something
flag
that.
football thing in the Pro Bowl this
Oh
last
yeah,
year?
no,
Nobody
the
wanted to
Pro
play.
Bowl game
Oh,
itself
God,
has become an
sucks.
absolute
Nobody pays attention.
joke.
Nobody cares about the Pro Bowl.
So-
The players
I
don't
will
even
say-
care about the Pro Bowl.
Nobody
You know,
cares about the Pro Bowl.
You know, John, you said, and I'm thinking now, you said that skills contest thing. Wasn't there that year that Drew Brees showed he could, like, literally with a football, like, he was the most accurate or whatever, like, he didn't miss a single target, and it was, like, essentially a shooting range, like you would do it, like, an amusement
All
park.
right.
But with a football, he just hit every bullseye.
Oh, Pete,
I mean,
buddy,
that
you gotta mute.
I did. Did that not work? I totally muted that. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Loud.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah,
Well,
and
wait.
when you cleared your throat for 10 seconds.
What the hell? The mute didn't work.
All right.
Ah, damn it. Okay. Okay. So I figured out what happened. I'm so sorry,
You
John.
did it. The only reason I mentioned it is because you did it 3 times.
Are you so I think I know what is happening. I hit mute, right? When my mouse just goes over the mute button, it unmutes it.
I miss you guys so much. This
I'm
is
so
great.
sorry
Sorry.
to everyone
Sorry,
there
I'm just gonna
to hear
just
me
gonna,
clear
I'm
my
gonna take your
throat.
chunk. I'm gonna take your chunk. I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just gonna go away.
You're gonna take his chunk.
Don't take
Yeah,
my
yeah.
chunk. Only take what's absolutely necessary.
I'll the whole thing.
loves chunk.
So,
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
do we have any time?
We can't
or
talk about this anymore.
did
we don't
use
have
all our
any time. We used all our time another 10 minutes ago.
I was going to suggest an
Guys
idea
are-
to fix
Wait.
the NFL thing.
You guys love each other so
Pete,
much.
Pete wanted to mention something about.
I'll be quick. I think this might have
actually.
actually come from Joe Burrow, who suggested, okay, if you're going to do 18 games, make 2 bye
Burrow.
weeks, have one of them in the middle of the season, and that's when you do the Pro Bowl, and every team has a week off at the same time. So it doesn't fuck with the whole stagnated bye week as much as you'd think, and that puts it more relevantly in the middle of the season, not like as an afterthought at the end when everybody's just like, where's the Super Bowl?
No, Pete, I can't agree because in football, out of all the sports, the injury thing is such a big deal.
Yeah,
All
but
it
if the
would take
game
is
is a
one guy
joke
getting
already,
hurt.
I mean, even if it's
All it
like
would take is
football,
one
is,
guy getting hurt in that game, and they'd never do it again.
I guess.
Like, that'd be it.
Well,
Just-
if
just
they
do the
lost
skills
the top
thing then.
guy.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I do like about having an 18-week season with 2 bye weeks. Guess when the Super Bowl would be?
On my
More
birthday.
often than not, the day
President's Day
before
weekend?
President's Day.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'd
my
be
birthday.
good.
And so we
Everybody's gonna
all
celebrate.
most people would get
I
the
wouldn't.
the holiday
I've
that
always
they
had-
want.
You know, I've always had my birthday off because
That's like
President's Day.
me in Memorial Day. Yeah.
Yeah, rock and roll.
All right.
It's
All
not
right,
the holiday we
that's the
wanted.
All
It's
right.
the holiday we
It was
deserve.
something to think about. It's the holiday nobody wanted.
get a golf clap
but it's the
going.
holiday
Anyway.
we deserve.
If you're thinking of being my brother, it don't matter. It's the next topic.
So Jeff previewed
Smooth.
this Sunday's Copa Americana final between Argentina and Colombia descended into absolute madness before it started. In anticipation of the game, thousands of fans without tickets attempted to forcibly enter the stadium, forcing the start of the game to be delayed, and it is estimated that an additional 7,000 fans were present on top of the 65,000 capacity crowd. There's even video of fans, Jeff mentioned it, sneaking in through the air vents on Twitter.
That's
Amid
amazing.
the chaos, dozens of people were arrested and almost as many required medical treatment. So, and here's where it gets weird. With Hard Rock Stadium scheduled to host 6 games in the 2026 World Cup, what needs to be done to prepare? Could you imagine paying, and this is what they cost, $2,000 for a ticket for a major sporting event, and then not even be able to get into the stadium safely?
Well,
Well,
I don't
All I'm
know
gonna
if that
say-
really has to do with the ticket prices. I think people, especially in the Latin American countries, are just that rabid for
they're
football.
kind of insane fandoms.
But
this is literally what I was
again,
going to say.
this is
Dude,
Florida.
Have you seen videos of football games?
Football.
I'm going to use that. Of
Yeah.
football games. Like, this is literally how it is.
Yeah.
Especially in South America. Like, I don't know why anybody was surprised.
Yeah, they're fucking
know.
crazy.
Messi's on. Messi played, right? Messi played.
Messi did
and-
play. He got
Yeah, he
hurt,
played
but he
good.
played.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I saw a picture of his ankle. It looked brutal.
He was,
Dude,
he was hurt.
I hurt my
he
ankle
cried,
like
didn't he?
I hurt
The
my
man
ankle
was
like that in
crying,
high
yeah.
school, where it looks
Yeah,
like there's
I did.
it looks like there's a donut inside your ankle, and you're like, what the hell? It is not fun. He's gonna be out a long
And so
time with that.
we talked about this. This is where Miami whatever plays. This is where Messi plays, and down there, I mean, like, they're trying to make Miami a football town.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of Latin Americans. Like, there's a lot of people there,
Yes.
and this was proof of it.
I
This
think
was
it's a
proof of
good-
it, that there is
it's a good
like
place to
like
do
an
it.
appetite for soccer in Florida, but they're not prepared. I mean, they're so not prepared that this place was surrounded by people in soccer jerseys, and
They're gonna learn
at
quickly.
some point, they just couldn't keep them out of the stadium.
I love the
Yeah.
air going through the air vent. So that's the most amazing part.
Did you see this video, Pete?
No, I will
It's-
look at it though. I
Look it
saw
up.
your story.
It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's literally like people one after another. Not one, not 10, like
But-
maybe 30 people.
So many.
Like-
Long line.
I don't know. I'll keep building on this. Like, you guys, wasn't there that video of that Brazilian stadium collapsing because it was over capacity? So, like,
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
like this is
Yeah.
so this happens. It happened in England too. I think like this is like football. Out of all the fans I've ever seen, I went to one football game while I was in Europe. It is crazy. Like, if we think any sporting event in the U.S. is crazy,
Yeah.
I've never seen ravenous fans like that. I mean, you said it, Mark. But I don't know.
Soccer
I don't know
hooligans.
if there's anything you can do. Like, that's I feel like that's just how it is. I mean, I guess you could. I mean, short of
Maybe have a few
threatening
more
to shut
watch
the game
parties
down-
maybe outside the stadium.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe short
mean,
of
what
just
it does-
threatening to
what-
shut the event down.
What it does do
altogether.
is it lowers the ability for American soccer fans, like major soccer fans, because nobody wants to deal with that sort of unrest here. I mean, right? I mean, we expect like a certain bit of decorum.
Are
And I'm
you
not
saying,
talking about
John? Are you
I'm not-
saying we're a bunch of white Anglo-Saxon?
I'm not talking
we
about real
answer-
decorum, but like,
Yeah.
if I spend money on a thing, I expect to get it, right? I'm just right.
I mean, I can't believe the ticket pricing for $2,000. That was when I heard that, I was
yeah.
like, oh my god,
Dude, I would climb through an
okay.
air vent if somebody said like $2,000.
And then, so back to Jeffim's point, in the whole soccer, sports franchise thing, when ticket prices by supply and demand get out of hand, the people who can't afford tickets still want things, and I mean, this is what happens. This is a direct result of ticket prices, and the ticket prices are a direct result of profits. And I mean, a 65,000 person stadium is a big fucking stadium. It's a big fucking
very
stadium.
big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space.
I guess they could move it to those Texas stadiums that are like 100,000 people or whatever.
The college
That's
stadiums are bigger than the pro ones.
I don't know. I don't know. The
man.
story is so ridiculous, and the people crawling in through the vents are so ridiculous. This guy literally on Twitter is like, I guess this is what's happening.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how you stop it other than literally to threaten, like, if it happens again, we will shut the game down. Like that kind of, and they'll never do that.
Didn't they
right?
delay
Like,
the start of it already?
2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah.
You
So I
can't
think told the
exactly
people-
block the vents.
They told the people who snuck in to leave. They said, could you please leave because you're not allowed to be here. They didn't even arrest a lot of people. Like, they arrested a lot of people, but in retrospect, 12 people is not a lot of people.
I mean, I doubt
That's
security.
Considering how many
accounted
people did
for
it, yeah.
7,000 over capacity.
Yes.
I'd like to get Matt's opinion on this, honestly. I think that, like, law enforcement that has probably run that stadium before, I'm just like, it feels like whoever was doing security at this event was unprepared. Just unprepared.
I mean, I'm sure they were, but I don't know. Supposedly there were, I thought I saw the number was 800 Miami police officers on site, and it's
Wow.
7,000 people. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
numbers, John, right?
Yeah.
Like,
On
This is a
top,
numbers
right.
game.
what are you going to do? Like,
And
what are you gonna
that's
do?
on top of any fan of the 65,000 in the regular capacity that is being rowdy or
And I mean, you
unruly.
think about it, sending
It's too
800
many.
police officers to an event is a lot.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's essentially the whole fucking force.
you get enough people in a mob and that have that mentality. There's not enough.
Because-
You're not gonna have enough.
They're all at the
Nothing.
They
stadium.
just talked about that
Now's
on-
their chance to
they
do
just
something
talked-
else. No.
Hey, Pete, they just talked about that on House of the Dragon.
Oh yeah.
1,000.
1,000.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
No.
I mean, I don't know, man. Short of like pumping drugs into the air, I don't know what the heck you can do. Like, just to calm everybody down.
Say hello to my little friend.
Enjoy this sedative by aerosol.
That's true. Get a corporate sponsor, Pete. That is brilliant. Right
Yeah,
there.
like-
Pete just offered.
Oh my God!
And
it's,
we're done.
Breathe happy, Febreze. You are now
Not a sponsor.
subdued.
Just walk. That's a walk-off home run, Pete. You just hit it out of the park.
You did that.
Game's over.
Pete,
We're
that's
done.
Air 5, buddy.
Okay.
Air 5. That was
Awesome. We have a soundbite.
I
for
got
that.
it. No, I'm doing it.
It just sounds like a slap.
It does.
Okay.
Right.
While I'm riding
Right
this
across
high,
the
I got to
face.
do this one. So
Hold on. Let me do this other fake sponsor first.
Okay.
We'd like to thank our another fake sponsor, Endurance Edge Supplements. Push past your limits with Endurance Edge Supplements. Our formula is designed to boost stamina and recovery. Endurance Edge, fuel your finish line.
Is that a wiener thing?
No, but it could be.
No, it's like an energy supplement.
Nah, it sounded like a wiener thing.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
I apologize in
I mean-
advance for this one. Wait, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, yeah, John. All the terms are there, Mark. Oh, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
I initially.
Broken forever.
Okay.
Endurance Edge supplements foil wiener.
All right, if we actually get Viagra to sponsor us, you guys are all going to be sorry.
It'd probably be a lot of money.
Anyway,
Oh,
go ahead,
so
Pete.
funny.
I don't know if I want to do this one now.
Do it. Do it. You have to do it. I'm broken.
It's not as good as that. Nothing can
It's
top
not.
that.
It's not as good.
Okay, so Steph and I have noticed that Liam's favorite toy by far is this piano with this dog that occasionally plays songs, and he like always brings up the songs. So it's stuck in my head, and I have to get it out. You guys ready?
No.
Dun, 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 dun. Circle, heart, triangle, square, and star. Hexagon, moon, and diamond. On the next topic, all around, everywhere. See if you can hear it right here.
That was
Well done.
so
done.
confusing.
Sorry, we've heard that like 80 times in the piano, so I had to adapt it to
I
our show.
understand. Pete.
I mean,
Yeah.
we know about.
Jefim knows.
I remember the talking toys.
Jefim
There
knows
was a
all
lot
too
of
well
them.
the
You just
talking-
forget about the
repetitive
talking
sound
toys.
bites on the toys.
All right, keeping on the soccer/football theme.
God.
We're now you've probably paid attention. If you're a fan of the sport, Copa America and the Euro Cup that just recently happened. Unfortunately, if you are a fan of the American team, though, they didn't really do so well, and it ultimately led to the firing of its former head coach, Greg Berhalter. Now, with the right coach and what the U.S. Soccer Federation says essentially a limitless amount of money, there is hope that the team could do well with superstar Christian Pulisic and recent call-up to MLS, who also signed with Manchester City, 14-year-old, that's right, I said 14-year-old Kevin Sullivan.
He's
So
fucking
everyone,
great. By
do
the
we
way.
ever see the U.S. being a soccer powerhouse?
No, next topic.
If any of the no next topics, that was the one to use it on.
I mean, Pulisic's great. This 14-year-old kid is great. I mean, there is the fact of it is we have the biggest reference frame, and we could have the best players in the world if we wanted to. If people played, will we ever be a powerhouse? I don't know. I don't think so, because MLS has been around for 15 years, 20 years. I mean, right?
It's been a minute.
And I haven't ever been to an MLS game. And the American soccer fans aren't fans of the MLS teams. I mean, we're fans of Man U, and we're fans of, the teams that people fucking care about. Like,
yeah, the real
like
teams in the world.
Like fucking Argentina, right? And Lionel Messi and Ronaldo and Mbappe and all these guys that are fucking great at soccer.
Well, the money isn't in the United States, right?
Yeah.
MLS
Right.
doesn't
The money
pay.
isn't on the United
Clearly
States.
doesn't pay as much as the
MLS
Premier
is
League.
where real Premier League players come to die.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Now
it-
again,
It's always been that way.
Yeah. Kevin Sullivan is he's also signed with the Philadelphia Soul. Is that what their name is? Whatever that MLS team in Philadelphia. So that's who he got called up with. And I guess his brother also plays on that team.
I saw him.
His brother
I saw
scored a
him-
goal.
I saw him come out, 14 years old. It was a big news story. It was super
Mhm.
cool. But like,
Mhm.
did it get played like number one on ESPN goes down their top 10? No, it was like number 6 or number 7. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really ever see a world where it happens.
But like, is it a chicken or the egg kind of thing where this league is just going to need to pony up and invest a shit ton in marketing or getting more players when they're not like out to pasture?
Well, that's
I
the
mean, it's
thing.
the thing we've talked about
They need
again
the
is-
players.
But who's ever going
It's the
to
thing
make
we've-
that investment?
Nobody.
Well, Miami
It's the
tried
thing
with
we've talked
Messi.
about again and again and again and
Yeah.
again and again.
Right. Miami tried.
Good teams get need good players because they need to make money. So if you're not making money, you don't get good teams, and then you're not good.
I know.
If you don't have good players, you're not very newsworthy, and then it's just like it's all connected.
Well, I feel like this is one of those areas where American exceptionalism is catching us.
That's
Bear with
true.
me here. I'm
That's
gonna
true.
try this because this is the one area where like essentially like the Europeans have this on lock, right? If you're one of the best players, you're going to Europe. There's no reason for you to stay here. There's no reason for you to go anywhere else. Maybe you could play for your national team, right, when those tournaments are happening. But the bottom line is the Premier League is the league.
Yeah.
Creme
It's
de la
probably
creme.
the same thing that a
Yeah.
lot of the Korean players and the Japanese players feel in baseball.
baseball.
When they end up coming here, right? And
Mhm.
those leagues lose them there because
very true.
basically like, well,
Same with
why
basketball.
would you stay there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Basketball. So it's just when I think about it, it's like this is one of those few areas where America's not top, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not number one,
We're not-
and this is the result, right? I don't think there's anything MLS could ever do unless. I mean, the investment you're talking about, Pete, would be like 10 times what they're spending now, and that's never going to
Yeah,
happen.
it's enormous.
And even then,
Well, you
it's a
look-
gamble, right? Like, it
you
may not
look
even pay
at
off.
the amount. I mean, all of the top paid professional sports players in the world are soccer players that play for the Premier League.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Like
Jeff.
Mbappe.
That's
And Ronaldo, and Ronaldo retired, but I mean, like, those guys are all hundreds of millions of dollars a year, guaranteed.
This is the NFL, the NHL, the NBA's, MLB's of soccer or football, right? They already got it. You're not going to start a new one that's going to overtake this one. It's already there. Join it or not.
I saw Liv on TV talking about trying to take over. Liv was on in like Maryland when I was at like a Popeyes. I was like, wow, that's a Liv broadcast. That's weird.
Interesting.
You talking about Live Golf?
Yeah, Liv Golf.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah, so I don't know what.
This is the first time I've ever seen it.
Well, we were talking about Paul Skeen, so I thought you may have been talking about Liv Dunn.
It looked like fucking high. It looked like highlight. It looked like horse racing. It was weird. They had like numbers and like they had like teams and shit. Like, I mean, so fucking weird.
That's an example of someone actually trying to invest just gajillions, billions of dollars to like force something to work. So I guess maybe we can see how it plays out there.
And then the reason I bring it up, it's interesting. It's not working. I mean, it is working a little bit, but like I don't watch Live Golf. I don't watch golf, but I don't watch Live Golf. Who gives a shit?
PGA is already established, and it's
PGA is already a thing.
And there are even international tournaments in the PGA. Like it's a global thing. So how are you going to compete with that?
Yeah. But I mean, I know MLS has tried. I will say I've been to an
multiple
MLS
times.
game.
It's tried.
Yeah, I was going to say right with what was it Beckham, Gerald Lampard, now Messi. Like they try over and over again. And it's like you said, John, it's where all the Premier League players go to die, basically.
That's right.
But that said, I went to a New England Revolution game. I want to say it was 10 years ago, and I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun, and the fans were ravenous. It was crazy.
Wait, was that the one where Beckham played? Because I think I was at that game too.
Yes, you were at that game. Yes,
nice.
It was you, me, and Alves.
Alves, yeah.
Alves, wow.
All right, we don't have to kill this topic, you guys, because Jefim already answered it. We're at time.
It's pretty good.
So you're saying we didn't have to spend the 5 minutes on this topic? We could have just done it in 5 seconds?
No, I mean, we did the 5 minutes. We're at 5 minutes, but we don't need to do our average Jefim episode 10
Jefim gave the short answer and the long answer, and both were very good.
The short answer and the long answer.
Sorry.
Mark, sing me a song, buddy.
Yes.
John, this is a shout out to you. Ready?
Nice.
But I'm a creep. I want the next topic.
Would you karaoke on vacation?
I just want to keep singing.
I love that fucking song.
Yes.
I just want to call out that the guitar player for Radiohead, I believe, is in the hospital. He was just hospitalized. I hope he recovers quickly.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jefim, are you ready? It's time.
Oh, is it time?
Wait, we're already that far?
No, we're not done. I'm not going to end on it because this is
that time yet.
This is the penultimate. It's the penultimate topic.
Okay.
It's like the ninth episode.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, so guys, it's time. In just 8 days, the MCU as we know it is going to change forever. Not only are we getting our first foray into the X-Men, but we're getting rated R content. And if the trailers are accurate, possibly the best movie ever produced by good old Kevin Feige. So I know this is the third time that we've discussed it, but Jeffim's here, and we need to talk about it more. So Jeffim, is Deadpool and Wolverine going to blow my mind? And with the return of the original Sabretooth, Pyro, and Toad, yes, Ray Park is coming back. Can we expect 100% fan service and cameo star-studded casts going forward?
I feel like your question is loaded.
I'm so excited, and it is loaded.
All right, John, I'm going to give you a hot take. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be. We're going to enjoy it. I think we're going to really enjoy it. I definitely do not think it's going to be the greatest movie that Kevin Feige has ever produced.
Okay, what if Taylor Swift is the one that ends up being Lady Deadpool, like the rumors?
I mean, she's 100% Lady Deadpool. It's why they haven't shown her face yet. 100%.
Or it could just be Blake Lively, which would be also
it has
awesome
to be.
Too.
She's blonde because we've seen that, but she has to be a gigantic star, gigantic. And I'm excited to know who she is.
I mean, just because a movie has a lot of cameos doesn't make it good.
But okay.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be
the giant dead Ant-Man face opens up, and he says, "Hey, look, Paul Rudd is aged." They're just fucking going for it, man.
They're going. Oh no,
they're going for it.
They're going for it.
They're going for it.
Well,
the expectations for this movie are so high now.
So
Yeah.
that I'm
high.
like, there's no
High.
way. It
And
will
now,
live up to them. There's no way.
the other line in the trailer, there's like, "Are you Wolverine?" And he goes, "Disney's gonna make him do this till he's 90."
This reminds me of like the marketing from Snakes on a Plane. Where
Oh my god!
It's almost become bigger, like too big for what the
Well,
movie's
you know what's
actually
cool?
going to be. Where like
Yeah.
the hype behind it is the best part of it.
And they realize, and it's because it's Deadpool, I'll allow it. Deadpool, of all the characters in the Marvel universe, has always broken the fourth wall. Always. That's literally his shtick.
That's one of
He's
his
broken the fourth
superpowers,
wall.
man.
Right, it's one of his superpowers. And so Ryan Reynolds, who is a marketing genius, has decided to take this in such a way. Like, he made the trailer a Heinz commercial. Do you see that one? It's a fucking Heinz commercial.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
I don't know
Straight
if I
up.
saw that one.
Straight up. No bolds barred. And so many references to the MCU as a thing that Deadpool is saying. I mean, I think that they hopefully realize that nobody gives a shit about backpage characters. And the only way to make the universe work is for people to have investiture. So why Phase 1 through 3 worked. Phase 1 through 3 worked is because they really worked on it. They really built up characters and storylines.
But John, Iron Man was almost a back page character.
I was gonna mention
Like,
Iron Man.
almost,
I don't know if I agree with your assessment here, man. Like,
No,
yeah,
but it was okay.
No, but
so
they developed Iron
Okay,
Man,
he's
right?
bigger
My-
than
my
like
thought-
yeah.
And my thought process on that is he came out as a backpage character, and literally the reason that movie almost didn't get made is because, well, A, Robert Downey Jr. is an alcoholic. Why should he be in a movie?
It was
And
a
B,
risky proproposition to
risky
to
proposition.
put
And Favreau came
him
in and he
such a
pitched
big
it.
spot.
And like he literally did this elevator pitch where he was like, "Listen, I know, but I got it. I got this."
I think it's gonna be good, man. I'm nervous about putting this high end expectation on it. You're hearing that New York Mets fan like cautious
Yeah.
fear of like I gotta see it, and then dude, if it's awesome, I will come back on with you and we will rave about it. But I'm nervous, dude. I'm nervous. I'm
So
feeling like
I
it
think
could be-
they're
So your geekdom loins are girded, is what you're saying.
That's a great line, Pete. That's so great. That's gonna be in the hashtag.
that's another t-shirt.
Awesome.
I think you guys may be kind of both right. So there's a lot
Pete
of
loves
hype
the
with
slap.
this, and we've seen a lot of the jokes in the trailers. Something tells me the movie itself might not be that good, but there's going to be like a lot of just running jokes in it that it's just going to be enjoyable
I hope it's
still.
entertaining. Yeah.
It's gonna be so good.
I just hope they didn't burn all the jokes in the trailers, and then we see the movie like we've already seen all this.
I don't know. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have a lot of material to go on, so
that's true,
I don't
right.
think we've seen all the
Right,
jokes.
there are years and years of like shit talking Twitter battles
We've
between
said
these two.
like we've said it on the
John.
show. God,
I'm gonna continue the hot takes, man.
I love it. I
Okay.
love it.
Rewatch the first two Deadpool movies. The first Deadpool movie was excellent.
I really
Yeah.
enjoy
Second,
that,
was
yeah.
the second
Really
was
where he
very good.
where he also made fun of his other Marvel movie that he was in.
But
No,
bear
that
with
was
me
a
here for
DC
minute,
movie, right? Or no, that was the
No,
No,
So
it was a
you're
Marvel
right.
movie.
You're right.
He was
you're right.
And the
he was
director-
Deadpool in one of the Wolverine
director-
movies.
Right.
Right? The director, right, was able to rein him in. If you read what happened, literally, they started to butt heads on Deadpool 2, and Ryan Reynolds got the director fired, and Deadpool 2 stuck because it was Ryan Reynolds just letting himself, in my
Unchecked.
opinion, unchecked. And he's in the same situation here. It's the same director. I'm just calling it out. Like that's why I have concerns. I truly do. I'm nervous, and Marvel hasn't
Jeff
done
is
much.
making me sad.
I'm sorry. I want it to be good. I'm just really nervous. It's not going to be.
So let's
really.
take a second
Okay.
because we're at the end
That's
again.
fair.
Let's take a second to talk about the implications in the state of the MCU that a movie that is breaking the fourth wall, that exists with the TVA in the void at the end of time. What does this do for the path that the MCU is going? Where are they going with this?
Well, I assume they're going to Secret Wars, right?
I mean, they're definitely going to Secret
It
Wars.
sounds like it, yeah.
Right, that's the whole point. That's got to be where they're going. It's the void at the end of the world. That's where the battle takes place. Right, like that's got to be where they're going.
Is that the next Avengers, or is there going to be
No, Secret Wars is in
preamble
2027.
to that?
Secret Wars
So
is
far
Avengers
away.
5. We still have Avengers 4. That was supposed to be Kang Dynasty, but now won't be Kang Dynasty.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard.
I wonder
Poor
why.
I don't know what they're
Jonathan
gonna
Majors.
do.
No,
Poor
I
Jonathan Majors.
I heard rumors
Pour
that
one out.
maybe
R.I.P. Jonathan Majors.
they might actually take the hammer to the emergency in case emergency break lasts and do Avengers vs. X-Men, which was a big comic storyline. What a way to introduce the X-Men to the MCU. If they
You would
Well,
have to bring
okay,
a lot
so-
of people back
The
Yeah.
X-Men
that don't
want to
be those characters
I
anymore.
know.
Captain Marvel is like,
gotta do
okay,
this
so at
again.
the end of the Marvels, we're living in a world where there's some crossover with that Avengers universe. Like, they said it. I mean, like, they don't exactly live in their after credits anymore. They dropped doing shit from the after credits a long, long time ago.
Yeah,
But, like, maybe. She went to a different universe. There were X-Men there.
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer was
Kelsey
Beast.
Grammer was there, yeah.
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer was there.
So,
Maybe.
hey, believe me, I'm not saying this out of like I want the MCU to get its mojo back. Like, and I'll also say that like I just saw the trailer for oh my god, Agatha All Along there.
That looks
Yeah.
very good, by
Is
the
that
way.
It
gonna be
looks
good?
really good.
Okay.
It looks good. Like the trailer looked good. I was
Is that
okay,
like
all
a
right.
parallel to WandaVision? Because I did watch
It
that.
is
I really
a
enjoyed it.
sequel to one. It is a sequel,
sequel,
to
okay.
WandaVision. The beginning, the trailer storyline is that Agatha doesn't really know who she is. She doesn't remember her previous life, and she's trying to figure it out.
Interesting.
Because and
She
Audrey
was good
Plaza
in
looks like
WandaVision.
Audrey Plaza looks like maybe she's going to be a villain, and she says, "You're stuck in that witch's
Spell.
something spell, some word."
Mhm.
But yeah, you're stuck in that witch's spell.
Aubrey Plaza is amazing. I'll watch anything she's
Aubrey
in.
Plaza is literally, and it's gonna be a horror joint. They said it's gonna be scary, and
Okay.
then they're releasing it around Halloween.
Oh, that
So
sounds
that's
fun.
exciting.
Did you finish WandaVision yet?
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it was fantastic. I knew it would be.
Yeah.
WandaVision is great.
Yeah. It was the best of the shows.
Yeah, I finally
Um,
got a chance. Loki
they
was good
are-
too, season 1.
I like Loki better than WandaVision.
They are inferring that Wanda is dead in the trailer of Agatha.
Yeah, they are.
Clear and
Mhm.
present danger. They're inferring she's dead, but I think it's a bait and switch.
She's too
I don't
big of
know.
a
Remember, she
celebrity.
doesn't. Elizabeth Olsen doesn't want to be that character.
No,
She
she
doesn't-
got
she said it
she got to do her little drama show, and that was very good, and everybody liked it. And now she can come back and make some money. Come make some money, Elizabeth.
You
We
know,
miss
she's-
you.
Yeah.
Wow.
We need to move on.
Never.
I could keep going. I haven't even gotten to ask Jefim about what his thoughts on X-Men 97 were yet. We'll have to have a super secret
okay.
topic for that.
Real quick,
Okay,
real quick.
hot take, Jefim. X-Men 97, the best show ever made, or maybe the second best show ever made.
I have sad news for you guys.
No, you didn't fucking watch it yet.
You gotta, Jefim, it is worth it.
I need to watch it. It's that good.
I was
Right now.
also,
You
even
gotta
being
watch
a
it.
huge X-Men comics fan as a kid, I was hesitant to watch it because I'm like, this is just gonna be whatever. Once I started watching it, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is the best thing since Endgame.
I really right now. I don't know why I did this. I just watched Boys season 4, and it sucked.
Really?
Okay, this will
You don't like season 4?
Jefim.
I am so tired of Boys not going anywhere season after season.
Yeah.
It's the same. Literally, at the end, it was right back to the same character arcs. And every character was in the same spot.
I haven't seen
I
the last
haven't watched
episode
it yet. Actually, so
It's so.
this season.
I'm so tired of that damn show.
Jefim, this will be refreshing. My hope for you is that this will rekindle your love for X-Men and comic book adaptations.
By the way, 100%.
100%.
It is
100%.
very, very, very.
It's just really
very,
well
very
done. It's
good.
well written. It's
Really
well,
very
well
good.
done.
Except
Okay.
for the end. The end sort of. It like
Okay, there was-
like they're like landing the plane and they stutter a little bit.
There is one stupid Deus Ex Machina thing.
There was.
If you take that out, I was fine with it.
All right.
okay.
Guys can listen.
It's a really well stated issue. I like that. Pete. That explains it very well.
There you go.
All right, and we're done. Let's be done. John has to edit this. John has to edit this fucking.
We're just making your
albatross
life
this weekend.
hell.
John, all that said, we need to pick I will come up. I will come up. We will watch it. We need to see it together. I'm with you guys. I'm going to see
I mean, yes.
I'd watch
Come, I definitely want to see it with you. Definitely come up, or I'll meet you halfway, or whatever the fuck works.
when
We
is this
need to see
happening?
It has to happen.
it. I don't know.
Tell me. We
Let's
all
do
live here.
opening night. When's opening night?
Ah, yeah, 26th.
26th.
It's like literally
Yeah.
next Friday.
It's next Friday.
Jim was like, "Oh shit, it's next Friday."
I'm looking at my schedule. I have nothing. All right. I'm going to see if I can convince Masha to come up. All right. We're doing it.
Done. Done.
I'm surprised you
I'm
haven't bought the tickets yet.
I need somebody to watch Liam.
I mean,
Bring 'em.
Liam and Noah can watch each other.
I was gonna say if Masha's coming too.
No,
I can't bring Noah to Rated R. I can't do it.
Oh, no, not to the movie. I'm saying
you know what actually really sucks about
Oh
this?
yeah. No. I
Play
would
date
bring him up.
with Liam
To be fair, I would be bringing him up.
Liam and Noah.
Jamie has been like my Marvel buddy.
Uh-huh.
She's seen literally everything, and we've like made our way through the PG-13 movies. But this movie's a hard R.
This is a hard
yeah,
R.
no,
isn't
this
it?
is
It's
hard
not-
R.
no,
This is not Jamie's safe Marvel.
And I
at
told her,
all.
I was like, maybe we'll figure it out. And I saw it was a hard R, and I'm like, listen,
No.
hon, this movie not for kids.
You know what? She has this to look forward to in 6 or 7 years.
The
She'll
cocaine,
find a way to watch it
like
on
the
her own.
cocaine
Yeah.
talk with the old lady. Like, it's the one thing Feige
Oh,
said we
that-
can't do.
It's the one thing like
I'm so excited.
All right, let's gotta move on.
Okay. Okay.
sorry.
It's no surprise to me. It's the next topic you see. I kind of messed that up, but it's my turn, right?
No, I love that one though. It's a good song.
All right. So ESPN announced this week the top 10 NFL quarterbacks according to executives, coaches, and scouts. Are you guys ready to hear them?
No.
Yes.
Number
Fire
one,
away.
Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Matthew Stafford. Number 6, Justin Herbert. Number 7, CJ Stroud. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers. Number 9, Jared Goff. And number 10, Dak Prescott.
How the fuck does Aaron Rodgers make that list?
So everyone,
He played 10 seconds last year.
so everyone, do we agree with this top 10 ranking?
No. No, I don't agree.
Why is Aaron
I
Rodgers
don't
still on
agree
the
at all.
list?
He can't be on the list.
This isn't like they're according to the performance last year. This is essentially what they're projecting their performance to be this year.
How?
You really think he's going to be a top 10 QB next year?
No, fuck
Recovering
you.
from that?
No way.
Fuck you. You've ruined this whole topic for me, Mark.
All right. This is from NFL executives, coaches, and scouts. This is not Mark's top 10 list.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers paid them. Fuck this guy.
I knew you. I knew you were gonna get fired up with that one name. With that one name.
I'm kind of
Okay,
intrigued that Burrow is second.
But CJ Burrow is second.
after
I don't
his
think Burrow
hand
should be
exploding.
second. Yeah, I don't think Burrow should be second.
I don't think Burrow's second either,
Burrow-
by the way.
Burrow's
And I'm
not
a big,
second. I
and
thought
I'm
that
a
was
big Joe
ridiculous.
Burrow fan, by the way.
So there
And
was
Lamar Jackson. Do we think of Lamar Jackson below Josh Allen?
yes,
Well, we know what Pete thinks.
obviously.
Oh,
yeah.
so hold for a second.
Shameless
What
opinion
success? What success does this list?
This
about.
really doesn't have anything to do with success. So
Because,
essentially, this is the list of quarterbacks that these executives, coaches, and scouts would like the order of them
Right.
that they would want on their team.
This is like talent and ability, not like what is.
I
your
think Lamar's
record in
very
change?
high.
for 1 year, for this year,
Okay.
for 1
Oh,
year.
For this year,
I
okay.
think Lamar is very high, but I think that Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
he just
though
doesn't
I
have
think
the
that
team
the
around him that the Ravens
I think that the
do.
Ravens will win more games than the Bills.
Well, the
this
Ravens.
So you'd
the Ravens
rather
have
have-
a better
you-
roster than the Bills this year.
You'd rather have Josh Allen than Lamar Jackson on the Giants.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
I'd say
What
by
about
a
Matthew
hair.
Stafford being
With
fifth?
with Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I
think
thought
so.
Matthew Stafford being fifth is fair.
Matthew Stafford is
I mean,
fifth.
I mean,
Stafford is great. I feel like that's a little high for him. But
yeah.
also,
and they,
who would you put?
they
in
would
his
much
place?
rather. Well, they would much rather have Matthew Stafford than C.J. Stroud and Justin Herbert, who are just below him.
Right. Which
No.
Okay, Stroud just below. Like, right. Herbert.
I mean, I
He
think
has flashes
Stroud-
of amazing
Stroud-
talent.
Stroud is a top guy, and I think I honestly, I guess when you think about this list, you have to think about a quarterback, specifically a quarterback that makes their team better. And Mahomes for sure, but Stroud.
Yeah,
I mean, you took a like a 5-12 team and you made them a playoff team.
Well,
like one
okay,
guy.
it was him and
Yeah.
like three other really talented skill position players. So I want to
Yeah,
see
but Nico
one.
was on the team before.
They were on the
Yeah.
team before. Yeah.
I want to see what Tank Dell
I'm sure
wasn't,
Tank
though.
wasn't on. Tank wasn't on the team before, but Nico was on the team before.
Yeah.
Singletary was on the team.
No, this is his first year on the team. But
No,
Singletary's
he's a
not
different
great.
team.
I mean, Singletary's a fucking
that's not
giant
really.
now, so
Oh yeah,
it's not helpful.
That's not really.
The tight end was on the team.
All I'm saying is for Stroud, 7 to me seems a little bit high this year. But if he
Seems
continues the
low.
trajectory he's on, I could see him being easily top 5 next year, maybe even top.
I'd
4
much
or 3.
I'd much rather Stroud than
You know-
Stafford. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
Stroud
yeah,
and
I was thinking
Stafford
that-
for sure.
I mean,
You know,
because the sun is setting
guess-
on Stafford.
and Herbert, by the way.
This is the last year.
Maybe not Herbert.
This is the last year
I
you're
guess
going
the
to see
problem with this
Stafford
list,
as
though,
a
is
top
who would
5.
you? Yeah, no question. But I guess
I
if you
don't
think
know
about the
about
list
that.
for a minute, like who would you move up?
That's
Like, you know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I
If
was
you took-
asking. Yeah.
If you took CJ Stroud out, like who would I put in place? Like that's what I.
Can we just
Yeah.
take Aaron Rodgers out though?
Yeah.
Because
How about?
that's-
all right.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Where's Purdy in this?
I got some names. Yeah, Brock Purdy's not on there.
not a Brock Purdy fan.
No, but
That's because Brock Purdy doesn't have that much talent.
Jalen Hurts is not on here.
Honestly,
Neither did Joe Montana,
We can
though.
let's think about this really
If you think
specifically.
about it.
Trevor
Which
Lawrence.
quarterbacks are the players that make these teams better, and it's not Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy doesn't make the Niners better.
nobody.
No way.
Ooh.
He is completely passable.
Well,
for a
keep
very
in
I think
mind,
he's
Jimmy
definitely in the upper
G was
half.
also on the 49ers, and they didn't make it. I mean, I
without
guess they
Christian
made
McCaffrey.
Super
Shut up.
Bowl.
It's not even relatable.
I guess.
So
I
I've
guess.
seen lists too where Dak Prescott was way up high, but that might have been a different list because a few
He's
people
on
like
them.
there
Was
was
that Jerry Jones's list?
No,
Jerry
Yeah,
Jones.
right. No, there was was it Dan Orlovsky? No, it wasn't Orlovsky. It was a guy who's been on NBC's show forever. Had
Chris
a quarterback
Collinsworth?
list. No, not Collinsworth. I'm trying to think of who the guy's name is, but he had Allen number.
Tony Dungy.
No. He's like a media guy, through and through. I can't think of his. Anyway, shoot, I'm gonna remember this after the show, and I'll be like, damn it. But he had Allen too.
Peter King.
No,
Dan Patrick.
but okay, hold
Say
on.
more names, Mark.
I'm gonna find this. All right, continue talking.
This is
I'll-
this is a great story, man. You should keep saying
I'm
it.
just surprised that Kirk Cousins didn't make this list, guys.
Kirk Cousins
really.
on the
I mean,
list.
Kirk Cousins
I mean,
is hurt. According to Mark
I'd much
Pesci.
rather have
I'm kid-
Kirk
I'm
Cousins
kidding,
than
I'm
Jared
kidding.
Goff. I'd actually much rather have Kirk Cousins than Jared Goff.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Hot take.
Okay,
So, go ahead,
it was Chris Sims.
Chris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
And
I guess
And
like
what
if I think about it, as much as I want to knock this list, I'm like, I don't know, who would I move up over
What
the
about-
guys that are?
What
on
about Tua?
what about Jordan Love?
What about Jordan Love?
What about
Tua
Jordan
has
Love?
like
who
So many
makes-
people
Tua
on the
has
Jordan
no
Love
arm.
train.
Jordan
Tua has,
Love
like, no
makes
arm.
Tua's got an arm.
Jordan Love
Tua
makes
is-
the Packers better, and this is what we're talking about. Which
He's throwing
quarterback-
60-yard bombs to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I think Tua.
Yeah, he's throwing 60-yard bombs, but he's not accurate at all.
Yeah, I will say though, Tua should flirt with top 10. I don't know if he's a lock
And-
for it though.
And we'll switch places in this, Mark. I think that Jared Goff is a very good quarterback.
What about Jalen Hurts, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts might.
I'm guessing it's
be on
because
the
he fell off.
list.
Jalen
Oh,
Hurts
They
yeah.
could
had a
bench-
bad season last year. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts could squat 1,000,000 pounds.
Jalen Hurts
An
was
actual
hurt
million. I've seen him
though,
do it.
last year.
Hey,
Okay,
you guys are forgetting the Tampa Bay quarterback. I know you love him so much.
who?
Yeah, he just got paid.
Mayfield. Oh, poor Baker
Oh,
Mayfield.
I just want to call out that I told you guys I thought he was better than you. I'm just
And
saying. I
watch.
think Mayfield.
He's
I think
plucky.
he's not bad.
Watch Caleb Williams, who, by the way, hasn't signed his contract yet. Watch Caleb Williams come out and be a top guy.
That was almost a topic. The fact that both him and Dunze have not signed their rookie deals
Dunze
yet.
has.
I really-
thought.
Oh, he finally did.
I thought Dunze
Caleb.
has.
I thought Caleb did too.
They
Caleb,
were
I
both
thought,
not
didn't.
signed as of yesterday.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I
I
am
could see
misinformed.
shuffling some players on this list. I could definitely see removing.
You mean Aaron Rodgers?
You could definitely remove
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Counterpoint to this list. I'm looking at Chris.
Aaron Rodgers sucks.
I'm looking at Chris Sims. So Burrow and Allen are swapped. Honestly, the top three is Mahomes is number one. Allen, Burrow, and Lamar, put them in whatever order you want. They're all great. Stafford is 5 again. Herbert 6. Stroud 7. Just like that top exec one. Prescott is an 8th, which is a little controversial. Hurts is 9th. Goff 10.
Wait, this is Chris Sims?
This is Chris Sims. Yeah. He ranked the top 40.
He ranked the top 40 quarterbacks.
Yep. Goff is 10, which I feel
There's
like
only
is
32 teams.
too
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
high. Oh, I know. No, he's got some like backup guys that are like better than some starters in here. It's kind of funny. Trevor Lawrence
is Daniel
11.
Jones on the list?
Daniel Jones. Oh,
Daniel
how is
Jones
he
is
not in the top 10, by the
23rd,
way?
which I feel like is kind of high.
He is for highest paid.
No,
Yeah,
honestly, I'm just upset that Tommy Cutlets is not on this list.
He's gonna get,
he
so
should be
is
an
John.
honorable
Gonna make
mention
me-
at least.
so is
he's gonna
John.
get cut. It's gonna make me sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I still say he might get signed by the Jets.
He probably should get.
He has
probably should
Tua
get
at 18th though. I feel like that's too low.
cut. That's low.
I don't know if Tua is top
Yeah.
10, but 18th is too low.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18th is too low. That means he's on the lower half of
Swap-
the starting quarterbacks.
Swap
That's
Tua
not-
and Aaron
Also-
Rodgers, who's 14th. There you go.
I can't get over it.
Anyway,
Hey, no
guy
one on
played-
this podcast ever said Chris Sims was a smart man.
sorry,
The guy
I didn't
played
mean to
10
take over your list
seconds,
with
man.
with this list. All right.
He played 10
I just-
fucking seconds.
I don't
I
see
know.
how Aaron Rodgers is possibly a top 10 quarterback, even if he comes back healthy on the Jets. I don't.
The Jets
see
are gonna
how
win
that's
3 games.
And he's not going to
next
come
year.
back healthy. He's
They're going to win more than
a
3
major
games.
Achilles
Yeah, I mean-
tear at age 39 or 40. Come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
at this time last year, Mark Pesci was telling me that the Jets were a playoff team, and I told him that he was full of shit.
Well,
So-
okay, they would have been if
mean-
his Achilles tendon didn't explode.
Yeah,
don't
I believe I
believe
also
you.
I
They
believe I also
still
said
suck.
I believe I also said that Aaron Rodgers would be running for his life most of the season.
That's true.
Oh my
it's
god!
the Jets.
Well,
It's the Jets, dude. It's the
case in point.
And now everyone has left the Jets. The Jets are bad again.
You know,
It
maybe you
happens.
want me to say the Jets are a playoff team because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Maybe if I say it again, then maybe he realizes he's a 39-year-old quarterback.
We don't need him to get hurt. We just need him to stop being a fucking retard.
Dude,
Jesus Christ. God
Aaron
damn.
Rodgers peaked when he had the discount double check commercial and
The what?
discount double.
and cameoing in season 8 Game of Thrones where he got annihilated by not Balerion, that was the ancient Targaryen dragon,
Please-
by
please say
Drogon's fire as he was annihilating King's Landing. So there you
Please
go.
say discount double check again.
Discount double check. There you go.
I mean,
Make a soundbite out of that.
I think he needs to go on another ayahuasca retreat and
Yes.
maybe lock himself in
For a year?
claim it again.
Yes, longer
Yeah.
this time. You're right.
Go on a dark retreat for a year, Aaron Rodgers.
Fucking Aaron Rodgers. All right.
Let's put us all in a good mood. Ready, John?
Okay.
I am ready.
It's the final topic.
Yeah.
That was really good, you guys.
All right. So, guys, we have to talk about it after a red hot start and being the first MLB team
We
to
don't
50
have to
wins.
start.
We have to talk about it. The summer blues that claim the Yankees every fucking year. Struck since June 14th, and a win over the Red Sox, mind you. The Yankees have gone 8-17, and while first in the AL wildcard are a game behind equally hot Baltimore Orioles, Aaron Judge, previously mentioned, is on pace with himself and his record-setting 62 home run season in 2022. And he and phenom Juan Soto started in the AL outfield and had some really delightful banter. So how can the Yankees bolster their injury-ridden lineup to have an honest shot at the playoffs in the second half of the season? Is it worthwhile to give up the top 5 starting pitching prospects? Let me say that again. Is it worthwhile to give up top 5 pitching prospects, Spencer Jones or Chase Hampton, for MLB strikeout leader Garrett Crochet?
So, John? What do you feel is the Yankees' number one thing that they need at the trade deadline? Is it starting pitching or is it bullpen?
I think it's
Ooh.
probably starting pitching, and I'm going to say it's starting pitching because I think that the experiment that was Luis Gil has now stopped.
Mhm.
So I don't think Gil is the same guy. I think he got tired. I mean, right? You tell this rookie to pitch
That didn't
You
take
know,
long.
12 games. Well, I mean, yeah, but you tell this rookie to pitch as a starting pitcher the first time ever, and he gets tired, and he got tired at the halfway point. And he's lost 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row.
I feel like the Yankees is a bad team to be a rookie with high expectations.
My concern about Garrett Cole is real. They're trying to make him work. I don't think he's ready. I think Crochet is a really good.
He just needs more
fit.
spider tech.
He needs more spider tech, exactly. I think
And
that,
a new elbow.
And a new elbow. Right. His elbow is not new
minor
enough.
thing.
I don't think
Spider
offense
tech
has
on the elbow.
really ever been a problem. However, the
Hence,
Yankees
that
have
wasn't why I asked you. They need more bats.
the Yankees have a little bit of an offensive problem where like Rizzo got hurt and Trevino got hurt and fucking Giancarlo Stanton, who people are saying matters, but I tell you, I mean it, he doesn't matter. But Stanton was having a pretty good season and he got hurt.
His official roster position is on the injured list.
So much money. Jeter's still
Starting
laughing.
bench.
He's still laughing.
Jeter is still laughing.
Jeter is not even in charge of the Marlins anymore, and he's still laughing. So I think that, and maybe it's not Crochet, but I think a top, and I mean top, like number 2 pitcher starting guy is the answer. The answer, but is what they should do.
So are they? You want them to grab that White Sox guy that's like consistent strikeout,
That means the strikeout leader,
right?
and the White Sox are sellers because they are out of the playoffs
yeah.
and never going to make it.
And are they
But-
rumored to be like putting this guy out there on the trade market?
Yes.
Okay.
He's definitely getting.
He's definitely getting traded.
Yeah, he's gonna get
And
Watch he goes to the
Jeffim's-
Dodgers.
Jeffim's right. The Mets are after him. The Yankees are after him, but a bunch of other teams too. The Yankees, mind you, do have those starting pitching prospects that I mentioned. So it's a lot of capital, but do the Yankees spend that capital? I mean, the Yankees have had a pretty good farm system the last couple of years. The Yankees are also having trouble. The Anthony Volpe experiment is stalled a little bit. It has stalled. There are some questions about his production and his ability to be a starter and his ability in general.
Sorry, John.
I
tried to tell you, buddy. I know you loved him. I tried to tell you.
I love the idea. I love the idea of him.
His baseball attribute was being Aaron Judge's best friend.
Not the worst thing, but
But what do you guys think? Honestly, that's why I asked it.
I don't care about the
I
Yankees.
think the White Sox are going to hold. I think they're asking a lot for him for Crochet, and they're going to get it.
As they should. Yeah, they're going to get it.
I mean, they're going to get it. Man, I don't know, John. Talk about sacrificing the future for the present.
Yeah.
that's the big
I mean,
debate, though.
you would literally be giving up. It's looking like they're going to get the top 3 to 5 prospects from whatever team they pull. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's. Whew, you're
very
burning
expensive.
you're burning your farm system. I mean,
Right.
I don't. You got to ask. I don't know. Is it? It's that classic question.
Now or later.
Yeah, an hour later, and also prospects, right? You never know. Do they ever
And
pay
then-
off? Right? Like,
And then
you know,
the top of that question is, do the Yankees have an actual enough money to pay Soto next year?
No.
And there
no,
is
I
a
think
discu-
Soto's gone.
and there is a
Soto's gone.
discussion of whether or not he stays or he wants to stay. But you have to assume he's a rental, right? You have to.
I mean, I think the Yankees, they have the money. They just don't want to spend the money that he's going to get somewhere else.
He's going to get so much money. A fast, young power lefty who has been a batting leader for the first 5 seasons in the MLB.
I will say he's made for Yankee Stadium.
It's
So,
made
Of course he's made for
Stadium.
Yankee Stadium. Of
Yeah,
course.
he is like literally made for Yankee Stadium. But
And what he
I don't know, John.
does, Soto, is he protects Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is having a great season because they have to kind of pitch to him.
I think the problem you have though is one pitcher going to do it for you. Is it going to push you over enough? And I don't think it is. I personally don't think I would do it. Saying that, like I guess, God, there's always that thing in baseball. I personally would lean towards keeping the prospects and not doing it, but I'm not the Yankees. The Yankees like to win every year. They play in New York, and New York loves big trades like this. I think they will
Two
do
of the
it.
big trades,
If-
by the way.
I think they will do it if they're given the opportunity. That said, I just don't think
Unless you guys beat
I don't-
us.
I think the Yankees need one more arm, need multiple
Yeah,
arms, not just
exactly.
one in order to be a World
Exactly.
Series contender.
Yeah,
Like it's
I'm
only
with
going to be
Mark.
worthwhile if you get 2 arms in the
Yes.
trade
Yeah.
deadline.
And then yeah. To piggyback on what Jefim was saying too, like, do you sacrifice the future for the present? I mean, with the pedigree of the Yankees' history, you've won so many World Series at this point. What if you
Not for a minute, though.
not for a while, but imagine too if you erase all of those ones before it, right? And I mean, you grew up.
Done.
Mark's all about this. Okay, no, but like John grows up, right, seeing these championships. You erase all that. What is your thought now? Are you just like, I just want to fucking win one, right? Sell the farm.
I mean, it's been 20 years.
Yeah, but you
it
still
hasn't.
had like
15.
how many
Four?
World Series have they won in the last 100?
Oh, 9. Oh, 9.
Yeah, it's 15. But it's still a long fucking time.
For the Yankees, that's
Better
Um,
than
I know.
anyone.
For the,
Fucking time.
the Yankees, that's a franchise.
I mean,
Better
sure,
than
we won,
never.
we won almost every year in the 90s, but I mean, like...
Does that?
I also don't. John, I'm going to say I also don't think this is the guy to spend it on.
Mhm.
I
the guy
don't.
is
I
good,
agree
but
with
I
that.
don't-
I agree with that.
I
By the
don't
way,
think this is not Garrett Cole. This is not like, hey,
this guy
Garrett
had
Cole's
one.
available.
This is
Yeah.
Give him
this is a
5
Carlos Rodon situation where this guy has
Yes.
had one good
Yep.
season.
Exactly.
One good season.
Not even. It's
Um,
not even a full season. that
No,
he's
it's
played.
not even a full season.
That's true.
I do think somebody's going to give it to them. They're going to give up those prospects and get him, but I don't think the Yankees should do it. I don't
I don't
think you have
disagree.
enough.
By the way, I don't disagree. By the way, and on top of that, I don't think that we're that far off.
You are. but go ahead.
Maybe a month ago, right? This has been a bad month, but maybe a month ago we're the best team in baseball. I mean, sure, we've literally lost 3/4 of the last 20 games, but I mean,
Never mind that.
a month ago we're the first to 50, and I don't think that the value out of giving up the farm literally is maybe a worthwhile investment.
Definitely not.
I think you should be kicking the tires on some of the veterans that are out there.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Max Scherzer just said he wouldn't accept a trade from the Rangers, but I think we all know it. If the Yankees came knocking, like the pedigree of the Yankees, come on,
That would be nasty.
like-
I would like that a lot.
and he looks healthy, he looks good, he looks like his usual self again now that he had that surgery. So I'm just giving an example of a guy that I feel like might be a better fit, and you wouldn't have to give up nearly as much. So I don't know. That's more of the type of trades I would be thinking about if I were in the Yankees here.
You know what's an interesting point to bring it all the way back to the beginning? The Yankees got weird when they instituted a baseball operations guy that is like in between Cashman and the rest of the team. So all about front office
Well, what's his role?
being an asshole. I mean, really, he just gets in the way. Fuck that guy.
That has to be a Canva
Designated asshole.
soundbite.
I mean, I will, John. Now that you bring him up, though, I'm going to say this. We've talked about him many times on your show. I know, and we take shots at him, but I don't know that Cashman is creative enough to come up with a trade like I just said. Like, I don't know if he's creative enough to pull it off either. I'm sorry. I don't think he's a very good GM.
He's not a very good GM,
No,
by the
I
way.
don't.
And he spends this time of year, this like really important trade deadline where everybody knows the Yankees need to make a move, and he's just like,
He did nothing last year. Yeah.
I wonder what I should do. And then the time just disappears, and then it's gone, and then we lose.
I don't.
He does.
You
He
can
does
also
look
knock-
like the Eeyore of baseball GMs, doesn't he?
Oh, that's
Oh
no.
Oh,
My point is,
What an analogy.
there are other options out there, and maybe there's a buy low candidate right now. Like you could knock on Seattle's door. I don't know. I'm just thinking like I would be thinking out of the box if I was the Yankees right now. Because
Well, I mean, top 3 prospects. The White Sox are asking for a lot.
yeah,
White Sox
that's-
are asking for a lot.
I think they're
At the
going
end
to
of the day.
somebody's
They
gonna-
will get it.
I'm with you,
Somebody-
Jefim. I think they're going to get it.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get it. It
I'm
might
hoping
be a
it's not the
team
Mets,
that,
but-
I think it's probably a team that no one's really watching, and it's a team that might not be doing it for this year. They might be doing it for the next few years. Someone like the Giants.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I
that's an-
think the Giants are the number one contender for Juan Soto next year.
Fuck you.
That's an
He's
interesting
staying.
fit.
He's staying. Aaron Judge is his best friend.
John, to be clear, I think he
They hold
should
hands.
stay. I really mean
think
it.
he should stay.
I think he's tailor made for Yankee Stadium.
I
but
think it's
don't
great.
know.
I think it's
He's of course
completely-
made for tailor
completely
made
great for his career. You go up 3-4 with maybe the best pure hitter in baseball right now. You play in the biggest market in the fucking world. I mean, the biggest.
Well, it's too
baseball
early
market.
for this comparison. They are kind of a modern day Garrigan Ruth.
They are.
100%.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
I just want to give like a little context. The reason
Sure.
that I'm saying he's tailor made for Yankee Stadium. Going back to Mark's comment, I'm realizing I feel like we left you out on this one.
That's okay.
Juan Soto's a left-handed hitter, and Yankee Stadium has a really short right field, so it makes it very easy for a hitter like him,
Oh,
especially
I
with
see.
a line drive swing, to
Okay.
basically hit lots of home runs.
Right.
Which he
So
does.
right,
That's
if
what
you're
it-
lefty and you're swinging that
Yeah.
way, it's like, oh, this is way easier than okay.
So it basically it basically inflates your stats. He is a very good player. I'm not just. He's a very
Well, I mean,
makes
he
him
didn't
look
bat
better.
very well in Petco Park.
No, he didn't.
Well, this-
he was actually bad at it.
this-
But Petco Park is like cavernous. It's
Yeah.
Well, and on
It's the
top of that,
it's the
Wait,
anti
is
Yankee
that- is that the
Stadium.
one in
It's
San
the
Diego?
complete opposite. Yeah.
yes.
and on top of that, and not only does Soto's existence inflate Judge's numbers, but Judge's existence inflates Soto's
Yes.
numbers.
Okay.
Because instead of not pitching to either of them, you have to pitch to both of them.
I have insight on Petco
It's
Park.
like a circle.
Okay.
That's right. It's-
It is very
Circle
symmetrical,
of
and I can tell this because I was on I know a very awesome rooftop bar in San Diego, which the name escapes me. I'm sorry. Otherwise, I would totally
you're very symmetrical, Pete.
vet it, or not vet it, but I would totally like, I don't know.
I swear this is the fourth time you brought that up in this podcast.
This is the first time in this podcast.
I love it. I love it. You have one baseball story and you love bringing it up on the podcast.
What?
I love it.
Knowing the perfect rooftop bar that's directly on top of Petco Stadium
Yes.
with a bird's eye view of it.
And
It's a good
and we're done.
story.
And we're
It's
way
a
out of
great
time
bar.
again. Mark, end the show. We love you, but end the show.
So that has been our topics. As a reminder, we broadcast these live on YouTube on Thursday nights, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. If you can't catch us live, then feel free to watch us on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell.
Check
would like
us
to
out on Twitter, yo.
We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Jefim.
Thank you, boys. Always a pleasure.
You can also follow or like us on our socials at IfTheseBallsPod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. Our website is www.iftheseballscoulddtalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Campani and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.